It's between the bird flu and the swine flu.
What is the difference between the bird flu and the swine flu?
One requires treatment and the other an ointment.
All righty.
Really? No?
Yeah.
That didn't even get...
Yeah.
I barely... Yeah,
I chuckled on the inside. I chortled on the
That's
inside.
Good. That's all that matters.
608 here, Big 550 KTRS. Joining us today is Stephen Portnoy. James Comey was indicted yesterday, and he'll give us the play-by-play of what happened at 6:35. Jordana Miller is going to join us at 7:20. We talked to her earlier in the week, and it looked like if you listened to her and you listened between the lines, it sort of sounded like there was some optimism for some type of deal, and we're a little bit closer to. People are sort of somewhat hesitant to sort of say there's a deal, but there appears to be some type of deal in exchange for prisoners. Jordana Miller's got that story at 7:20. Brad Garrett's going to be joining us. I can't believe they found the guy who started this fire, this Palisades fire in California.
It is so weird what this dude did.
What did he do?
Okay, so first of all he was from California, moved to Florida, went back to California, started the fire, then went back to the scene. He ran away, called 911,
Right,
and then snuck back and recorded firefighters trying to put out his fire.
and then they put the fire out, but then 3 or 4 days later, it was smoldering underground, which then reignited the fire.
Yes, and this is the big one in January that killed all those people.
Yeah, ruined the whole
neighborhood,
Altadena and all that stuff and everything.
Smoldering underground.
Yeah. It was
What?
So they put the fire out, and then unbeknownst to everybody, it was smoldering underground. That's one of the reports I heard. So pretty convoluted story. How they were able to track this guy down is pretty unbelievable. Brad Garrett, ABC News, is going to join us at 7:50. And
speaking of tracking some guy down, remember those prisoners that escaped? They finally caught the last guy.
Who? Who?
Remember when all those prisoners escaped down in the South? And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna catch them all," and like they caught most of them after.
Oh,
the
there was
first
like an
day.
inside job or whatever.
Yeah. The security guard got arrested for that.
Yeah.
They finally caught the last guy. It was 5 months. He was 5 months on the lam.
Yeah, they are. The feds always get their man
on the lam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was out for 5 months.
They still got him.
Yeah.
Antonio French going to join us at 8:20. Frank Cusimano is going to be joining us. It is the Blues home opener, season opener tonight. Cubs are held on, right?
They did. They won.
Yeah, the Cubs held on. The Yankees did not hold on. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees. Blue Jays move on. Cubs are hanging on by a fingernail. We'll get into all that with Frank Cusimano. And then we're going to swing by and check in with the new head of the Ronald McDonald House Charities, who I believe has been on the show before. We were big supporters of the Ronald McDonald House when Dan Harbaugh was running it. Died way too young, Dan Harbaugh. But they have a new president and a new CEO. He's been on the job about a year now or so. We'll check in with him and see how the Ronald McDonald House is doing. And then, of course, phone calls and text messages in the 9 o'clock hour. So there.
Yeah.
Did you get a new remote for your TV?
Oh, the saga continues.
Yeah.
You found a way, right?
Well, so when last we left the crisis, I was trying to hook up two 24-inch TVs in my office, if you will. So I can go down there, work on the computer, and sort of monitor the news. And so I got TVs. It didn't work because it didn't have the right mounts for the computer mount. I bought the computer mounts or the monitors for computers. It didn't have remotes. I went back to the TVs. TVs are great. There's one problem. One remote works for both TVs. So if I lower one, I lower them all. So they have this feature where, believe it or not, on a Vizio TV, they have an app. And the app on your phone turns into the remote on the TV. And you can Google or tab between the left TV and the right TV. So if you change the setting on your app, right, it says one's office, one's basement. So if I hit the office, it'll control the left. If I hit basement, it will control the right.
So clearly you're not the only one that's had this problem.
No, and I Googled like two TV. You know how Google says, Google like fills in the words for you? I wrote 2 TVs and then it said, same remote, 2 TVs. How do I fix this problem?
You're like, how is it reading my mind?
You're like, clearly someone else has also had this problem. But a lot of people asked, hey, I have it. And the answer is not very simple. There's a lot of people who, that Reddit's an interesting.
You can get down rabbit holes easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done that, but I guess it's gone crazy. But on the surface, if you just sort of use it as a, like, hey, how do I change the blade on my lawnmower?
It can be very helpful.
It can be very helpful, yeah. So I think I'm just going to do that, and it's not like I'm going to be changing the channels the whole lot. So that will work until I can find a better solution. But it's fine. It's fine. Now I have 7 remotes, and I don't need any of them. Normally,
you got an app.
Right. Normally, you need one of them. I don't need any of them now. So stick them in a drawer and whatever else. All right, Captain Paul. In the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Right now, there's a slowdown in the westbound direction in that stretch. One lane of 64 is closed eastbound between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 o'clock this afternoon for road work. One northbound and one southbound lane of Tesson Ferry are closed between 270 and Butler Hill until 2 this afternoon. And one westbound lane of 364 will be closed over the Veterans Memorial Bridge from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. today for road work. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another crisp, cool morning and mild sunny afternoon for Thursday. We'll start off at 48 degrees, bit chilly to start, but a mild 73 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very dry air, real nice day for Thursday, very fall-like. And then Friday, chilly again in the morning, low 48, and then a touch warmer, a high of 76 degrees, a few more clouds in the sky, partly cloudy for Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
We had the owners of the number 2 crew in yesterday, and just regular, hardworking guys, great entrepreneurs. They're the ones behind the watering bowl. And now they've opened up a new business called the Number 2 Crew. And the really name says it all. What do? They come to your house and they pick up your dog's business. It's kind of what they do. They know they laugh at themselves. They've got good natures and good nature and like to take some ribbing. But when you strip away all the comedy, it's actually a great service. There are lots of people fall and winter and their busy lives. They want to have a dog, and they have a hard time picking up after the dog because for all sorts of reasons. They have a yard, and so they hire the Number 2 Crew to come out once a week, walk the yard, pick up the dog's business, put it in the trash, and they're on their way. It's all about customer service. So you get a text when they're on their way. You get a text when they leave. You get a picture. And so you know when they're in your yard and when they're walking around your yard, and they take it off and put it in the garbage, and they're on their way. And they wait to come back next week. It's as simple as that. Whether you need a one-time fix or it's a weekly service, the Number 2 Crew does not have any long-term sign-ups. You want to, I think they ask for a month. But after that, you can cancel at any time. So it is a wonderful, wonderful service. Simple, easy to explain, and very, very service-oriented, right? It's all about customer service. So if you find yourself or mom and dad in a situation where they love the dog, but they have a hard time picking up after the dog, maybe it's an apartment complex that somebody else doesn't pick up after their dogs, and you want the apartment complex to sort of hire somebody? Yeah, great idea. Number2crew.com. no2crew.com. no2crew.com. Phone number is easy, 314-717-8880 or number2crew.com.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Lang. Join me for Animal Talk every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 on the Big 550 KTRS, the Animal Talk of St. Louis.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Six 21 here, Big 550 KTRS. Yesterday, I had a nice conversation with Melissa Price Smith, the county prosecutor in St. Louis County, and had a good, 15, 20-minute conversation with her and her chief of staff. And I was reaching out, asking her about this gambling federal criminal case, or this federal civil case where one company brought against Torch Electronics, which is the gambling machine company. And I invited her on the show, and she was happy to come on the show, but I was talking to her about what is this story? What is this lawsuit? What does this verdict mean going forward for companies that have illegal gambling machines, for businesses that want to put illegal gambling machines in, for companies who have rejected illegal gambling machines. And it's to say it's convoluted. Well, first of all, let me just say everything I say here. I told her this. I said, I respect you for having this conversation with me, and I respect you taking time out of your busy day with your chief of staff to sort of, help explain this to me. So that's one. Two, it's so convoluted and so foul that it's hard to describe how foul this is. We have casino licenses in this state where they've gone to the people and the people have had to vote for and ratify casinos. Originally, they were, boats on a moat, and you had to leave, and you had a $500 loss limit, and then you had to leave every 2 hours, and then they decided to moor the boats, and they took away the loss limits. But you still have to have a license to run a casino. And now you don't need anything to run a casino. You just need to have Torch Electronics give you a couple of machines. And the fact that the governor, the fact that the attorney general, the fact that the police, and I'll throw in the prosecutors, can't figure out how to stop this illegal activity is borderlines comical if it weren't so serious. It's almost like the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, where he's pointing, well, they could go both ways, right? Who do you call? This was my question to her yesterday. Who do I call? Who do I call to get the answer? Because everybody I ask the governor, I ask the attorney general, I ask the prosecutors, I ask the police. Oh, yeah, no, we're looking, the law is very, nondescript. You got to talk to the legislature. Legislature says, well, you have to talk to the prosecutors. Prosecutors say you have to talk to the police. Police say, well, we're just doing our jobs. Everybody's got an excuse as to why they can't do anything, right? But when it comes time for elections, everyone's tough on crime. Quality of life crimes, we're tough on crimes. Oh, we're tough on crime. Oh, we are tough on crimes. What about these illegal gambling machines? Now that's a great point you bring up. We have 15,000 of them around the state. They're not taxed. They're unregulated. Now, here's another question I have for you. It came out in the trial. We knew this, but renewed focus, that the state law says that these gambling machines must give back 80% of the money generated from the machines. Right? That's what it says. But in the lawsuit, we found out that Torch Electronics gives out significantly less than that. So if that's the case, can't the Gambling Commission come in and say you're breaking the law because you're not handing out enough money? Right? Where's the... If the gambling machines, or because they're not gambling, they don't have to give back any money. I mean,
they tell you if you're going to win.
It's so foul and so wrong, and yet we have really smart people in the state, and nobody can explain to me why these now, according to a federal jury, our illegal machines can't be dealt with. And if you want to legalize them, legalize them. I don't care. But there's nothing legal about them. They're unregulated. There's no oversight. There's no collection of any type of revenue. Nothing.
Are they confiscating these yet at this point?
No.
Has anyone ever? They go and they see that they're there, and then they
every once in a while
arrest
you read a story that I guess some police officer went and did it, and then I don't know if that police officer then gets in trouble for doing it, because then when I call the prosecutors in those counties, they're like, "Oh, we'll get back to you as soon as we hear what the highway patrol gives us the files," because the prosecutors are saying we can't do anything until someone brings us a case.
Yeah.
So the prosecutors are saying we'd like to. But as soon as somebody brings a case, well, who brings you a case? Well, Briscoe from Law and Order brings you the case. So how come? So okay, the police. Okay, you go to the police. The police bring in these counties, right? In Kennett County, and I think it was Madison County, right? They confiscated and took some of these machines and went after somebody. And you talk to the prosecutors and like, well, so how come they haven't gone after him in St. Louis County? How come not one police department in St. Louis County has gone after any of these machines in St. Louis County? We've got 55 police departments. You'd think one of them would want to go after one of these machines, but where's the mayor? Where are the aldermen, right? There are 88 towns, 55 police departments. You would think one of these towns would say, this is kind of a scourge or is it that these businesses are in cahoots with the mayors who are in cahoots with tell the police to back off because, well, it looked the other way. I mean, it's the whole thing all the way on down. So imagine the money we could get from these if we taxed these things. But I went around and around. God love her. She was very forthcoming and very honest and very open. And now, again, I applaud her for answering all of my questions and not ducking any of them. But I will continue my searches to try and find somebody who has the power to do something about these machines. Because now we have a federal jury come back and say that they're illegal and they're detrimental to legal businesses. But everyone's against crime. We're for law and order. We're for fighting crime. What about this crime? Well, that's a really good point. We really need to look into this. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's also these bath salts. How these bath salts remain legal while we're at it. I mean, it's crazy. You had to go and get signatures and a ballot, and everybody had to vote to legalize marijuana.
And I was going to say, this is a very similar kind of a situation.
Bath salts? Go ahead. Don't worry about it. I mean, you can't. But bath salts, they treat like bubble gum. Marijuana, they treat like heroin. It makes no sense. 6:30 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. There is road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Right now, there's a slowdown westbound in that stretch of highway. One lane of 64 is closed eastbound between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 o'clock this afternoon for road work. And one northbound lane and one southbound lane of Tesson Ferry are closed between 270 and Butler Hill until 2 this afternoon. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org, federally insured by NCUA, membership eligibility required. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, 74 degrees today, plenty of sunshine, light winds, might even need a light jacket early this morning as you head off to work. So a high of 74 today, overnight tonight low of 49, 77 on Friday, 79 on Saturday. What a great day to go check out the pumpkin patches. And then Sunday might reach 83 degrees. Plenty of sun, no real rain anywhere in the forecast. So a high of 74 today. 51 right now at 6:31. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to pause fighting in Gaza to release the remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, adopting parts of a peace plan backed by U.S. President Donald Trump. Weary Palestinians cautiously welcomed the deal today as a potential breakthrough in ending the 2-year war following days of negotiations in Egypt. In Tel Aviv, families of the remaining hostages popped champagne and cried tears of joy when the deal was announced. A measure that would have halted U.S. military strikes on alleged drug boats has been shut down by Senate Republicans. The Democratic resolution was voted down along party lines yesterday. The measure would have stopped the U.S. military from attacking boats in the Caribbean Sea that the Trump administration claims were smuggling drugs from Venezuela. The administration says it has conducted strikes against 4 boats since early September, killing over 20 people. Colombian President Gustavo Petro claims one of the boats was from Colombia and was carrying Colombian citizens. State officials are headed to court today to block the deployment of hundreds of National Guard troops in Illinois. Lawyers for the state and Chicago will appear before a federal judge to argue the deployment is illegal. Governor J.B. Pritzker said, quote, "We're looking for the courts to do the right thing," end quote. Illinois' lawsuit comes on the heels of suits from Portland and the state of Oregon to block the same deployment of National Guard troops. A former hostage who was held in captivity by Hamas for more than a year will be speaking at the Jewish Community Center in Creve Coeur tonight as part of the Jewish Book Festival and Speaker Series. Eli Sharabi will be speaking tonight at 7 about his memoir, Hostage, the first memoir published by a survivor of Hamas captivity. Sharabi returned to Israel on February 8th after spending 491 days in captivity to find that his wife and daughters had been killed on October 7th of last year. Individual tickets to the event are sold out. 51 degrees. Time now is 6:33. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Let me tell you about St. Mary's High School. It's an all-boys Catholic education, all-boys Catholic high school. Independent now, rooted in the Maronist spirit for all young men, and Catholic or not, and you want to turn that young man you brought home from the hospital into a full-fledged man with empathy and dignity and respect and all that, yeah, well, a great way to do it is to send them to St. Mary's High School. St. Mary's High School, what you learn there, yes, you learn what's in the books, but you also learn what's important when it comes to the community, for your fellow man, for your country. And at St. Mary's High School, they team up with unions, they team up with businesses, they team up with former alums to teach the whole young man. When they graduate from St. Mary's, not only do they have a head on their shoulders, they also know how to use it. They also have the resources and the connections that will propel them to change the world. They have access to all of the millionaires and billionaires that St. Mary's have graduated in years past. They also have the skills for the 21st century. If you're looking for an all-boys Catholic education, St. Mary's, the class sizes are growing. They just announced that they purchased their own building and their own land. They are on the move. And if you'd like a high school with some team spirit, yeah, St. Mary's has got that too, since they have a couple of state championships under their belt recently. stmaryshs.com to find out more. stmaryshs.com.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for Chuck Berry's birthday bash. Celebrate the father of rock and roll with hits like Johnny B. Good and Roll Over Beethoven, performed live by the SLSO and band members from the Rolling Stones, Living Color, and The Pretenders. October 17th and 18th at Power Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law are proud to sponsor this Saturday's big game. Your undefeated Mizzou Tigers welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to Pearl Field in Columbia.
Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9.
Yeah! 2 tacklers to the house in Missouri.
Don't miss all the action live here on the Big 550. KTRS has full coverage all week on the Big Sports Show with KTRS Sports Director Brendan Lisi and the Press Box with Frank Russomano.
Missouri delivers a killer punch on the fake punt.
This is why the Big 550 is live, local, and the home for everything Mizzou. Proudly powered by Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law.
Let's go Mizzou.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
.636 here, Big 550. KTRS. James Comey arraigned yesterday in federal court. Stephen Portnoy's got the whole story. Stephen, how did it go down?
Well, it was brief, but also informative, because not only did we learn that James Comey is going to plead not guilty to these 2 charges, we also learned a bit about what his defense lawyers are going to argue to try to knock this case down before it even gets before a jury. The primary defense attorney is Patrick Fitzgerald, himself a former top federal prosecutor, former special counsel. And what he has said now in open court is that he's going to be filing several motions, challenging the case first as a selective and vindictive prosecution, because the indictment came just days after the president publicly seem to direct that action be taken against James Comey, that time is running short and whatnot. The other motions will involve Lindsay Halligan's appointment as the acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, following the ouster of the previous acting U.S. Attorney, who was the nominee for the post, and that nomination was taken down by the president. So it'll be a challenge of her appointment. Then there'll be a motion, we're told, that Halligan abused the grand jury process. Exactly how that will take shape is not clear. We'll have to wait until we read it, and then we can explain it. The judge said that he sees this as a pretty straightforward case. The prosecution said, no, they think it's more complicated because it could involve classified information. Now, there's nothing in the indictment that points to that, but nevertheless, there's this idea that maybe there's something more to this case. And one thing we don't know is whether prosecutors might try to put up a superseding indictment. That there's no way to know. But for now, the bottom line is, and I should reiterate our reporting from yesterday, exclusive reporting from ABC News, that the prosecutors have been given information that, according to our sources, could prove problematic to their case. The key witness here is going to be Columbia law professor and former FBI consultant Dan Richmond, longtime friend of James Comey, described in documents as something of an intermediary between Comey and the press. And in particular, we know, because Comey's publicly acknowledged it, he used Dan Richmond to kind of sort of launder his his memos that he took contemporaneously with meetings with President Trump in the spring of 2017 prior to his firing, where you remember that President Trump urged James Comey to drop the matter of Michael Flynn that the FBI was investigating, the conversations that he had with the Russians prior to Trump taking office in 2017. And the bottom line there is that because Richmond told prosecutors, according to our sources, that Comey instructed him not to engage with the press on at least 2 occasions and never authorized him to provide information to the press before the 2016 election, that essentially undermines the case, that Comey lied under oath before the Senate Judiciary Committee when he said that he never authorized anyone to leak, and reiterated that testimony in September of 2020, which is the basis of the charge against him, the suggestion that he lied about it. What proof do prosecutors have that he lied if their key witness is prepared to testify that Comey wasn't lying?
What do we know about the judge?
Well, not a great deal. Look, the judge is known to be a straight shooter, straightforward, not someone who has demonstrated political leanings one way or another. This is being heard in the Eastern District of Virginia in a courthouse in Alexandria that has seen a number of high-profile trials, including the trial against Paul Manafort, the trial against Zacharias Moussaoui, who was implicated in the 9/11 attacks. So this is a storied federal courthouse in an area that deals with a lot of issues involving the federal government. It's interesting that this case is entered in Virginia and not in Washington, D.C. The supposition is that Comey was at his home in McLean, Virginia, which is on the other side of the Potomac River from D.C., when he gave his testimony by remote to the Senate Judiciary Committee on September 30th, 2020.
January 5th is the trial date, but with all these motions, when's the next time this thing's going to heat up?
Well, that'll be interesting to watch because there's now a calendar that's been laid out by the judge for these motions. So in the next couple of weeks, we could see some of the first arguments from the defense as to why this case should never see the light of day. Again, the primary argument is going to be, among others, that this is a selective and vindictive prosecution, that this is not a case that would be brought but for the fact that the president wants it brought. And it'll be very interesting to see how the judge takes on that argument. You know, defense attorneys often make it when it comes to cases that involve the intersection of politics and the law. But, you know, a lot of legal experts say it's pretty clear cut, and all you have to do is point to the president's own statements and see the chronology. Plus, there is the fact, as we've reported it, that there was a recommendation in the U.S. Attorney's Office that these charges not be brought. Lindsay Halligan, newly installed, rejected those recommendations and decided to press forward.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how all that turns out. Stephen Portnoy, good stuff. Thanks for checking in.
You bet.
ABC News, Stephen Portnoy here. 6:42 here. A big 550 KTRS.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net. 636-916-1122.
It's the half price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress, going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Meep, meep.
St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, right now, no big problems on the roads. There is road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Right now, there's a slowdown westbound in that stretch of highway. The signals are on flash on Tesson Ferry at Music and Green Park. Northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless. And one lane of 64 is closed eastbound between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 p.m. today for road work. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another crisp, cool morning and mild sunny afternoon for Thursday. We'll start off at 48 degrees, bit chilly to start, but a mild 73 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very dry air, real nice day for Thursday, very fall-like. And then Friday, chilly again in the morning, low 48, and then a touch warmer, a high of 76 degrees, a few more clouds in the sky, partly cloudy for Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk about Innsbruck. When was the last time you went to Innsbruck? You've heard about it. Maybe you went there as a kid. Well, as a kid, Innsbruck was really, really far away. Well, it hasn't moved, but somehow it got closer to St. Louis, just 45 minutes from St. Louis. Some people go out there for a business meeting, but maybe you're setting up a business retreat, corporate retreat for the weekend. Maybe you've got a wedding in your future and you're looking at wedding venues. Innsbruck could be a perfect place. Not only do they have the venue, they have a nice little chapel they can set up for you. They also can make it all-inclusive, so you and your guests can sort of rent cabins out at Innsbruck for the weekend and make it all-encompassing, turnkey, simple, easy, and dare I say beautiful. 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, on-site restaurants, an 18-hole championship golf course that is open to the public, Available for charity events. Heck, you can even work in the morning and then drive out to Innsbruck, play 18 holes, and come back for dinner all in one day. Nature trails, event spaces, places to house your horses at very reasonable prices. You can spend your days on the water, your nights in the cabin, whether it's an A-frame, treehouse, custom house, cottage, condos and villas. They've got it all at Innsbruck. Again, 7,500 acres. Just 45 minutes from St. Louis, and not a wrapper, not a beer can, not a pothole anywhere in Innsbruck. They have a fall home tour going on October 18th from noon to 4. Some of the houses will be for sale, but most of the houses, you just go out and sort of look at other people's houses. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a fall home tour at Innsbruck. The colors are going to be beautiful. It's going to be a nice day. Why don't you make a day of it? Saturday, October 18th from noon to 4. Innsbruck. And to find out more, Innsbruck-resort.com.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green. Online at jewelsonhampton.com.
Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, solid as rock.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty.
First day on the market, we had multiple offers. They were definitely on top of things, but we loved working with them. They made it so easy for us.
All you need to know about real estate and more.
I am Lauren Risley. I'm here with my right-hand man, Adam Bundren. Every Sunday at 1 o'clock, you'll be hearing from us a full 1-hour show on all things real estate.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS. Live from Studio 550, this is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
$6:52 here at Big 550 KTRS. Somebody on the text line. Can you please mention the company you were going to mention? Couldn't listen all day long. Well, thank you very much for remembering. I mentioned this in the 9 o'clock hour. I'll give them another mention today. The store I walked into in Cottleville, Men's Modern General Store. It is a... Rose, you weren't here for this. You had since gone on to bigger and better things. It is a store that is created by men for men. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, they have. Every time I say this, I know it's going to conjure up another image, right? They have knives. Okay, but it's not a knife store. They have watches, but it's not a watch store. They have beard gel or beard cream, but it's not a beard cream store. They've got wallets, but it's not a wallet store. It's things that men would use, but a man could use a pocket knife. But a man at some point would like a nice pocket knife or a nice knife to carve Thanksgiving dinner with, or a really nice watch, right? I have a phone. It can tell me the time. But how about a nice watch where I could wear when I'm, go out for the evening or wear a sport coat or something? Then they have this other side of men's modern general store where they got these big leather chairs. They got chess sets, and they got a pool table, and they have a bar, and you can go to the bar and sit down and have a conversation like you would have at the Harvard Club, if you will, right? So you have a business meeting, you have a sales meeting, you have a something meeting, and you're going to go meet someone, have a drink, and talk over something. Well, go to the men's modern general store and go down, sit in a nice leather chair, and maybe play chess, maybe play a little checkers, but sit and have a conversation in a nice sort of setting. Maybe you want to play a little pool. Maybe you meet someone who's playing pool. It's really very, very sweet. So if you're looking if you know the man who has everything, or the man who wants everything, or the man who's looking for something nice, Men's Modern General Store. This is not an advertisement. I mean, it is, but...
Do ladies go there?
Ladies are certainly welcome to go there.
Would it be a good place to pick up men?
Meaning,
right? Like the hardware store.
It's not like that.
There's going to be a line out the door of women at the men's general store. Well, it's not. It's not like a dating app where you're like swipe left in like real time.
At the men's general store.
It's not like that kind of bar.
It could be. Why not?
There's going to be a line out the door with manly men who are looking for knives. Yes, it's not a bar like.
Right, like it's not a hangout scene, but it'd be a good place to go shop for a gift for your man, right?
It would be, yes, but I would also think that if two ladies wanted to go to the men's store and sit down and have a cocktail in a nice leather chair, I will absolutely. Why not?
You can have. There's a bar and stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bar you can go and sit down and have a nice little cocktail, and I'm sure a couple of ladies, if they showed up, they would probably may or may not be the center of attention.
Is Thursday night?
But you need to go. You need to go see for yourself. You need to. It's not a men's club like a Kiwanis club, but it's not like a He-Man Woman Haters club either, right? It's unique. I've never been in another store like it. It was, and the owner Micah couldn't have been any nicer. Couldn't have been any more open and honest and friendly and brand spanking new. And I'm sure the man sunk every nickel of money he's got into this thing. Beautiful leather, beautiful wood. The minute you walk in, it smells like leather, smells like wood. It's one of those types of stores where you're like, oh, yeah, this is...
That beard stuff smells amazing. Like the beard oil and stuff that men get. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
like it's a way to
freshen up your beard. Or
and it also keeps your face from itching.
Yeah.
And that's important.
All right. Yeah, good to know. So the men's general store next to, right across the street from Menino's in Cotterville. So go check it out yourself.
On Highway N.
On Highway N, right there. Yeah. So there you go.
Does KTRS still come? Do you still get that signal all the way out there?
Yes, believe it or not. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's they've got roads and gas stations and the whole thing.
Do I need a passport? Yeah.
No, you don't.
Traffic lights.
Speaking of that, did you see in the where there was a story in the Post the other day that they're building, they can't build homes fast enough in St. Charles. There was another, they added up the subdivisions and it was like another 5,000 more new homes being built in St. Charles that's already been planned, and
really
they can't build them fast enough in St. Charles. And they're building them, and they're buying them, and they're going further and further out. And we joked about Innsbruck being far. New Melly used to be really far away. Now, New Melly is right next door. And I know there are people who can't physically cross the Missouri River. I know that you break out into COVID if you cross the Missouri River. I know that's a thing. Either way.
My wheels lock up.
Right. I know, like Rose, if Rose was caught, if I called Rose, where are you? And she said St. Charles, her face would burn off. And I know there are people who live in St. Charles, so I'm like, where are you? And they'd say, I'm at a Cardinal game. Their heads would explode. Sure. I understand those are people. But really, people need to go drive out to New Melle. People need to go drive down Highway N or Highway Z and go see, or Double D or D. Go drive to Augusta, drive to New Melle, and the number of subdivisions that are being built and the Home Depots that are being built and the Chick-fil-A's that are being built and the gas stations that are being built. It is unbelievable, the housing boom going on in the farmland, right? They're digging up the farmland and they're building homes.
My grandfather always said, if you want to be rich, buy property 10 miles out of where people live now.
Yeah, it's and as you know, they can't build them fast enough, and somebody might complain about the traffic or whatever else, but that's where everybody's moving. It's moving west. There's no more land east. Nobody wants to build North City or North County. North City, right? There's a lot of land, but for 18 million reasons we talk about, you can't get to it or access it or can't put enough of it together into one big plot to make it worth the builder's time. So where can you get big plots of land to build homes? St. Charles. St. Louis Closet Company Savage Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on eastbound 70 before 94 is causing a stop-and-go back up to Zumbel. Estimated clearance time there is 7:45, and there's road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. You know that, Captain Paul, right? More and more traffic every day out in St. Charles. Highway, right. Yeah. High today of 74, plenty of sunshine, no rain anywhere in the forecast. Overnight tonight, low of 49. Tomorrow, 77. Saturday, 79. Right now, it is 46 degrees here at the Big 550 KTRS. We got Jordana Miller live in Jerusalem for the latest there in 20 minutes. 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. That is the sound outside Al-Aqsa Hospital in the Gaza Strip. And that is the sound from Tel Aviv's Hostage Square as Israel and Hamas both agree to phase one of the peace plan put forward by President Trump. ABC's Josh Einiger has more on how it was announced.
It was in the middle of an unrelated press event with President Trump that breakthrough first came to light.
Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State.
The note, snapped by an eagle-eyed photojournalist. We need you to approve a Truth Social post soon, it read, so you can announce deal first.
Peace for the Middle East. It's a beautiful phrase, and we hope it's going to come true, but it's very close.
Not long after came the president's post, confirmed quickly by Israel and Hamas that they'd agreed to phase one of Trump's proposed peace plan.
Phase one includes the return of all the hostages, living and dead, in exchange for the release of the Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli detention. The next phases, including setting up a government in Gaza and pulling Israeli troops back from parts of the territory, will take longer. There was a court hearing today on the deployment of National Guard troops to suburban Chicago. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio.
One judge who will weigh in on the legality of the Chicago deployment later today, telling the administration earlier this week, if I was the government, I would strongly consider taking a pause on this. Despite the warning, Trump pushed ahead with the deployment and threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, which was last used during the LA riots in the 90s.
The Guard tasked with protecting federal buildings, including an ICE facility outside Chicago where protests have been taking place. A 29-year-old Uber driver is under arrest for allegedly setting the Palisades fire in California early this year. Pope Leo has issued his first teaching document of his papacy. It blasts how wealthy people live in a bubble of comfort while the poor suffer on the margins of society. This is ABC News.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
The federal government shutdown dragging on, and people are starting to feel it, especially those with travel plans this week.
It's day 9 of the federal government shutdown with no deal in sight, and the effects are being seen at some of the nation's busiest airports. Air traffic controllers are not being paid, and staffing shortages have forced the FAA to reduce the number of flights at some airports, including Newark and Reagan National outside Washington.
ABC's Victor Okendo. Former FBI Director James Comey pleading not guilty to federal charges. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia is trying to prove that Comey lied under oath to Congress. Now, Comey's attorneys have indicated they plan to file several motions to dismiss the case altogether. ABC's Catherine Faulders has been in the courtroom.
Particularly, they said they would challenge the lawfulness of Lindsay Halligan, now the U.S. attorney there, who brought this case after Trump fired the other person who was there because they wouldn't bring charges against political enemies. This is Trump's former defense attorney. So Comey's lawyers want to argue over the legality of her appointment.
Since the announcement was made that he'd be performing at the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show, everybody wants to hear some Bad Bunny. The analytics company Illuminate says Bad Bunny saw a 26% increase in streams since word came he'd be performing. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law are proud to sponsor this Saturday's big game. Your undefeated Mizzou Tigers welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to Pearl Field in Columbia.
Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9.
Yeah! 2 tacklers to the house in Missouri.
Don't miss all the action live here on the Big 550. KTRS has full coverage all week on the Big Sports Show with KTRS Sports Director Brendan Lisi and the Press Box with Frank Cusimano.
Missouri delivers a counterpunch on the fake punt.
This is why the Big 550 is live, local, and the home for everything Mizzou. Proudly powered by Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law.
Let's go, Mizzou.
51 degrees at 7:05. Here's what's happening now. A St. Anne woman has been charged in Tuesday's officer-involved shooting near the interchange of Interstate 70 and Earth City Expressway. St. Louis County Police have charged 35-year-old Janie Ryan with 6 counts of 4th-degree assault and 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon. St. Louis County Police were first called to the area around 12:30 Tuesday morning for reports of a suicidal person armed with a handgun. Investigators later interviewed Ryan, who admitted to flourishing the pistol at the officers. Ryan is being held on a $250,000 cash-only bond. St. Louis police are investigating a series of package thefts in the Central West End by 2 women posing as Amazon delivery drivers. The most recent incident occurred around 5 a.m. Sunday at a condo near Laclede and Sarah. One of the 2 women dropped off her partner in a nearby alley where surveillance footage spotted her entering one of the condos wearing a delivery vest, similar to those worn by Amazon package delivery workers, a face mask, and glasses. Police recommend taking several steps to reduce thefts, including signing up for delivery alerts and tracking your packages online, using a package locker, having a trusted individual pick up packages, or having packages delivered to work when you're not home, and installing security cameras as a deterrent. A recent study shows adolescents in Illinois are drinking alcohol at nearly twice the national average. The Illinois Youth Survey, that's conducted every 2 years, shows that in 2024, 8th graders were using more alcohol and teens more cannabis. What's perhaps more alarming is the data showed that 1 in 10 8th graders said they got alcohol through an app or delivery service. The Illinois Department of Human Services advises parents to pay close attention to their teens' social media and overall phone use. The first rhinos are arriving at St. Louis Zoo Wild Care Park. Details from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
The St. Louis Zoo is announcing that its Wild Care Park in North County has just received its first rhino herd. The 5 southern white rhinoceroses weigh between 4,000 and 5,300 pounds and range in age from 5 to 27 years old. There is 1 male and 4 females. The move of these 5 marks the first time in decades that the St. Louis Zoo will care for white rhinos. The rhinos will spend most of their time at the park's 63-acre woodland safari. They will also have access to a state-of-the-art 12,000-square-foot rhino barn. When the park opens to the public in 2027, the zoo will offer guided safari tours through this habitat with no barrier. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
A popular St. Louis-based convenience store and gas station is opening its largest location to date outside of Kansas City. The Independence City Council voted Tuesday night to approve construction of the 54,000-square-foot location at the interchange of Interstate 70 and Noland Road that will feature 84 gas pumps and 12 electric vehicle charging stations. It will be the 4th location for Wally's, joining stores in Fenton and Pontiac, Illinois, as well as location under construction just northwest of Indianapolis. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 51 degrees. Time now is 7:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
7:08 here, as she just said. Coming up in 10 minutes, Jordana Miller is going to join us from Jerusalem. Brad Garrett's going to join us, talk about this unbelievable story about how they found the guy who started this fire out in California. Antonio French in an hour. Frank Cusimano will talk about the hockey season kicking off tonight. We'll check in with the Ronald McDonald House, and then, of course, phone calls and text messages in the 9 o'clock hour. So, not a big fan of social media.
What?
But I did stumble across my Instagram feed something called Cash Stash STL. Have you seen this thing?
No.
No.
First of all, I'm calling bogus. Okay, I'm calling. I don't believe it.
What is their hidden money stashed all over the state?
So it's exactly what they do.
What?
So they take.
Is this the lost money thing?
Yeah. So they take the picture of a wad of what appears to be $100, and then hide it somewhere, and then somewhere in St. Louis, and then they keep a camera on the place and have then people who follow them on social media then
they get hints.
Find it. And then I saw one where one guy found it and ran away, was happy. And then they cut to a whole bunch of like college kids walking on their phone, looking in the bushes, right? Everyone's sort of, it's foul, false, bogus, wrong. Set up. It's a scam. Do I know this for a fact? No. I'm calling foul. I'm calling no way. First of all, the wad of cash, okay? Mm-hmm. You see a $100 bill on the top, and you see a $100 bill on the bottom, and then you see all these other, like, unmarked, right, sort of.
And they don't flip through it?
No, right. The $100 bill, crisp as could be, right on top. All the other ones, wrinkled, sort of tattered, right, dog-eared. Okay, so false.
They spent $250.
Right. Okay, and then, so they take the money, the thing of money, and then they put it in the envelope, and then they go and they show you put it in under a statue or in a bush or something. Is the $100 still in there?
Oh.
Right? I mean, seriously, you want us to believe that you really just arbitrarily put thousands of dollars in an envelope and then hit it just to give it away on social media?
Right.
So there's no money in it, or if there is money, there's $1 in it or whatever. Then what I've seen, I haven't seen the winners like interviewed, like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing in the world. Oh my God, $10,000. I was walking by the statue. I saw on my social media feed. I went by the statue, and there it was, right in the guy's armpit. And oh my goodness, I was lucky to win $10,000. It is, I can't believe that there are people who are actually falling for this.
Well, Mr. Beast has made a living by giving things away.
Who was Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast.
This ought to be good.
Okay, Mr. Beast he's a YouTuber that makes people do things for money online.
Okay.
But he gets sponsors. And Amazon even had a show. They backed him, and Netflix has made him even more money.
So it's sort of like a reality show, like a Deal or No Deal, or what was the other one where the Price is Right, or or let's make a deal.
Mr. Beast makes people earn it.
Okay.
What you think is just like
this is so fake and so bogus. I can't believe that there's anybody. Do you really think that there is? I mean, are we that gullible in 2025 that we really think somebody at Cash Stash STL is randomly putting thousands and thousands of dollars in an envelope, putting it in a bush, and then putting it out on social media, wanting you to come and take it because just out of the goodness of their heart?
Please, yeah, though we're in the season of influencers. Like, people are buying stuff just because some person hawks it on YouTube.
Well, no,
right?
no,
Like,
I
this
understand.
is the most gullible stage. I really feel like anything's possible. Yes, I do believe that there's enough people out there that are like, ooh, cash. It could be stashed under the armpit of the statue, the whatever.
But you look at this video. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. You don't have to be an FBI agent and be like, wait a minute. Oh, this just doesn't. It doesn't pass the sniff test. I mean, the $100 bill couldn't be any crisper, and then all the other bills underneath it. It's like funny money. It's like Monopoly money.
Right.
It looks so fake.
Right.
Holy mackerel!
And if you dig into it, the guy who won is the brother of the guy that's filming.
Yeah,
everything.
didn't I see that guy in the other video? I mean,
Does the money come in like a briefcase and all?
No, it's usually sometimes it's in an envelope, sometimes it's in a roll. It's a roll of hundreds, right? I mean, it's so.
How did you stumble on it, or how are you?
Well, I didn't sign up for it. The algorithm just sent it to me,
or it's sponsored.
And so I don't know how I got on Instagram. I don't know how you get on Instagram or whatever. Also, I was looking for,
woodworking tips.
Yeah, or something, and then somehow, you know how it invades your space. And all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, why am I watching this? And this couldn't be any faker. And then you saw these idiots who were prancing around like they just won the lottery.
Do you have to pay taxes on these winnings?
I don't. Pay taxes on the $1.97. 7:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. An accident on eastbound 70 before 94 is causing a stop and go back up to Cave Springs. The estimated clearance time is 7:45. A crash on eastbound 64 at 94 has been moved to the shoulder. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Right now, there's a slowdown westbound in that stretch of highway. Northbound 270 is averaging less than 50 miles per hour from South County into Town and Country. And the signals are on flash on Tesson Ferry at Music and Green Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another crisp, cool morning and mild sunny afternoon for Thursday. We'll start off at 48 degrees, bit chilly to start, but a mild 73 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very dry air, real nice day for Thursday, very fall-like. And then Friday, chilly again in the morning, low 48, and then a touch warmer, a high of 76 degrees, a few more clouds in the sky, partly cloudy for Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, if you're going to the Blues game tonight, you need some new Blues merch. Not a bad idea to check out hats and stuff out here at Westport. Almost everything in the store is $10. It's a going out of business sale, or I should say retiring sale. He's not going out of business, he's retiring. And he's handing out all of his inventory. So if you're looking for some good Blues merch, not a place to go right out here out at Hats and Stuff. Now, if you're looking to retire, You don't want to go to Hats and Stuff. You want to go to call Kevin Lloyd at Legacy Wealth Advisors because, look, there's nobody in retirement just handing out envelopes full of cash, okay? That's not the way retirement works. What happens in retirement usually is the government's there waiting for their cut of your retirement. That's what happens in retirement. The government has been giving you a tax break all these years as you put money away in these tax-deferred accounts. And then the government's smart. They know that when you take the money out, that's when they're going to get their cut. However, if you're smart about this and you call Kevin Lloyd or one of his advisors and you sit down, you come up with a true financial plan, when it's time to take the money out, you can reduce your taxes, reduce your liability to the federal government, and oftentimes, in many ways, get to a point in retirement where it's tax-free. So you put the money in tax-deferred, and you take the money out tax-free. Sounds like a pretty good deal. How do we do that? Well, you need a true financial plan for that, and that's where Kevin Lloyd comes in. Oftentimes, our financial advisor says, when asking them a tax question, I can't answer that. You have to talk to your accountant. Oh, right, yeah. Well, Kevin Lloyd, he has the accountant in the office. Kevin Lloyd does the taxes for many of his clients. So, and if he doesn't do the taxes, he does the tax strategy for them. And what does that mean? Well, that means, again, reducing your tax liability going forward. Call Kevin Lloyd, sit down. What are you waiting for? Whether you are retired or getting ready to retire, this is the way to do it. This is smart. This is what the big boys do. 314-641-1010. 314-641-1010 or the website whenretirementhappens.com.
St. Louis is home to one of the last true Little Italies in America, the Hill neighborhood. Anchored by St. Ambrose, the Hill has been home to generations upon generations of Italian families. Known for its fine Italian cuisine, the Hill has also produced incredible athletes like Yogi Berra, Joe Garagiola, and many of the players on America's 1950 World Cup soccer team that defeated England, which helped germinate St. Louis's rich soccer heritage.
Hi, I'm Mike Vitale from Vitale's Bakery. My family's been baking delicious bread and pastries for local restaurants dating back to my grandfather in 1945. We've been a family-run business for 4 generations. My sister and my nephew Bobby are carrying on the family tradition. We're proud of our Italian heritage. We're proud to continue our parents' legacy. Vitale's Bakery is at the corner of Bischoff and Marconi on the Hill.
Celebrate Italian Heritage Day this Sunday on the Hill with the annual Italian Heritage Day Parade at 12:30, followed by the Italian Festa at Barrow Park.
Hey, the number 2 crew reporting for duty.
Number 2 crew. Let's get in that yard and clean up that doggy doo.
The number 2 crew will visit your yard once a week in the St. Louis area, and they'll take care of your dog's business. Think of them as your yard's best friend.
We are the number 2 crew. We do poo, you do you.
Customers can sign up through their website and utilize their customer portal for any sort of changes or updates. The number2crew.com or 314-717-8880.
We pick up what your dog left behind.
The number2crew.com.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the sound of captivity. This is the sound of rescue. And this is the sound of freedom. Give Armenia's captive bears a second chance by supporting International Animal Rescue. Call 508-826-1083 or search The Great Bear Rescue to learn more.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A Taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a Taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
722 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's go to Jerusalem and check in with ABC News Mideast correspondent Jordana Miller. Jordana, earlier in the week, there was some optimism and some hope that this peace deal would get done. At least there are some agreements with some initial points of this. What do we know officially and what happened?
Well, it was really a stunning night, I have to tell you. I don't think anyone anticipated that once President Trump's envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, got to Sharm el-Sheikh, to that coastal town in Egypt where all the, heavy hitters were meeting, I'm not sure anyone believed it would happen so quickly. But it unfolded as we saw that first hint with Rubio interrupting the president, that note and its contents being captured by photographers, which really tipped all of us off that things were going to move very quickly. And indeed, celebrations breaking out, in Hostage Square after the news that Israel and Hamas had signed off on the first phase of President Trump's plan, what is expected to secure the release of all living 20 hostages in one foul swoop. Israel will release almost 2,000 Palestinians, and we'll see the Israeli army make its first withdrawal. Today, what we expect is the Israeli prime minister to put this first phase of President Trump's plan up for a vote by his government. It'll be ratified around 11 a.m. Eastern time, we expect, and then it will start. The clock will start ticking, right? Right away, it will usher in a cessation of hostilities. The Israeli army will put down its arms, so will Hamas. And the Israeli army will begin as early as this evening, local time here in the Middle East, to withdraw its troops and move east to the first withdrawal line, what's being called the Yellow Line. And that will move the Israelis from having about 80% operational control of Gaza to about 50, right? 50. Still a considerable amount of Gaza will be under the control of the Israelis, but that is until they move to phase 2 of the president's plan, right? And then we've heard from both Israeli officials and Hamas that all the hostages, the living hostages, which they've confirmed are alive, which I think also sent Israelis, dancing in the streets, and parents of these hostages crying, right, and thanking President Trump. All 20 will be released in one foul swoop on Sunday or Monday. The bodies of some of those hostages, 28, those will come out, I think, in groups and in slower fashion because we don't know. We understand that Hamas doesn't know where they all are. And then here in Israel, the Israelis say that they expect President Trump to arrive sometime Saturday evening, local time, Sunday morning. And they say he wants to be here to see those hostages come out and to give what the Israelis are calling a historic address to Israel's parliament. We're still waiting for confirmation from that from the White House. But huge news today. I mean, really, this is, in a sense, the end of the war. My children woke up in the middle of the night and they said, "Mommy, what's going on?" I said, "Guys, I think it's over. No more sirens." And they cheered.
Pretty extraordinary news, and not to. I guess that the next question is there hope that there's more peace to follow, more agreement after this, or is that too much to ask for?
No, absolutely. I think there is hope that the parties, the United States and the mediators in Israel, are going to move vigorously towards phase 2, right? Phase 2 is where really the heart of all the issues lie, and it's going to be a tough negotiation, likely over weeks at least, but it will require Hamas to turn over their arms, for a lot of their leaders to leave the Gaza Strip, for a governing council to be set up, overseen by the United States, right? That international security force, Egypt says it's already training troops. That has to, and by the way, Europeans will be lending forces to that, right? A kind of UNIFIL, if you will, in Gaza. That has to be set up. And the Israeli army has to move forward with fully withdrawing to the security buffer. No one wants, and including Israel, to stay in 50% of the Gaza Strip, right? That's not a number anyone is happy about, but that is what Israel felt it needed as a kind of hedge against Hamas backing out of this deal or trying to hold on to power or trying to even hold on to its arms.
Jordana, the United Nations says there's an estimated 500,000 people who are at risk of starvation. Now that the hostages are going to be brought home, will humanitarian efforts be picked up? Will they be blocked? What is the humanitarian side of all this happens now?
Well, it looks like once the hostages are released, then we are going to see anywhere from 600 to 700 to 800 trucks of aid go through and get into the hands of Gazans on a daily basis. That's what we saw during the ceasefire, the last ceasefire, right, in January. And those are the numbers that we're hoping to see again. That means the UN, the World Health Organization, the World Food Program will be back up and running. And with operating in an area across Gaza where there's no combat, we will see that food delivered, hopefully, to the needy in a much quicker and more efficient fashion than, obviously, during combat and war.
We'll leave it there. Jordana Miller, pretty extraordinary news and a pretty extraordinary day. Thanks for saving a couple minutes for us. Get back to work, and thanks for checking in.
Talk soon.
Okay, Jordana Miller in Jerusalem, who's been with us for years and years and years, but the last 2 years has been an invaluable resource. You know, it's probably important to sort of recap what has just transpired because it is pretty extraordinary. It was 2 years ago that Hamas broke through the security fences from Gaza and killed about approximately 1,200 Jewish people in Israel. They captured about 250 people. Hamas fighters broke through that fence. They displaced nearly, then in retaliation, all of Gazans 2 million residents were bombed and bullets. The Israelis responded, killed approximately 70,000 Palestinians. And a third of them under the age of 18. The United Nations, as I said, estimates that about 500,000 people are at risk of starvation. It was 2 years of just unimaginable horror that has transpired. And now, as you heard, it looks like there is some deal to release the final hostages in return for thousands of Palestinian prisoners. So we'll wait and see how it all shakes out. But pretty extraordinary news from the front lines with Jordana Miller. 7:30 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, an accident on eastbound 70 before 94 is causing a backup to Cave Springs. A crash on eastbound 64 at 94 has been moved off to the shoulder, but it's still causing a backup to Winghaven. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Right now, there's a slowdown westbound in that stretch of highway. Northbound 270 is averaging about 40 miles per hour from South County into Town and Country. And the signals are on flash on Tesson Ferry at Music and Green Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, high today of 74. No rain in the forecast. A couple of clouds are going to float by, but plenty of sunshine. High of 74 today. Overnight tonight, low of 49. Tomorrow, high of 77 with some clouds. Saturday, upper 70s. Maybe on Sunday, we'll touch 80. But plenty of sunshine, a couple of clouds, no real rain in the forecast. 51 officially at 7:31. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan to pause fighting and release at least some hostages and prisoners. It is a major breakthrough in the 2-year-old war. Under the plan, Hamas will release all 20 living hostages in the coming days in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, while the Israeli military will begin a withdrawal from the majority of Gaza. Uncertainty remains about some of the thornier aspects of the plan, such as whether and how Hamas will disarm and who will govern Gaza. The lawyer for former FBI Director James Comey says they will seek to quickly dismiss the federal case against him. Comey appeared in a Virginia courtroom yesterday after formally pleading not guilty to charges of making a false statement to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. He's accused of lying to the Senate Judiciary Committee about leaking information from the FBI's Trump-Russia investigation. His lawyer says the case is vindictive and selective and that it was filed only after pressure from President Trump. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's war of words continues with President Donald Trump amid the National Guard controversy. Yesterday, Pritzker responded to the president's call for him and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson to be thrown in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Trump posted to his Truth Social platform saying he's considering invoking the Insurrection Act against defiant Democratic governors and mayors. Pritzker said of Trump's threat of arrest, "Come and get me." Missouri officials are seeing an increase in the number of West Nile cases. The Missouri Department of Health and Environment says as of last weekend, there have been 16 cases of the mosquito-borne illness in the state so far this year. 15 of the cases involved hospitalizations, and 3 of the cases proved fatal. 51 degrees. Time now is 7:33. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Can I tell you about Dents Express? Let me tell you about Dents Express. Look, you've been driving around with a car that looks like a Titleist. I know, you've been doing that since the storms in the spring. You've been meaning to get to it, but they've been so busy over there at Dents Express that every time you call, it's a couple of weeks out. Well, relax, calm down, give them another call, get on the schedule. That's all you need to do. If you would have done this a couple months ago, you've already gotten the car taken care of. But go ahead, never too late to do it. Call Dents Express, get on the calendar, and then when you're ready, drop the car off. It's on Manchester Road in Baldwin. They have another one out there in St. Charles. And what you do, you just drop off the car and you let them get to work. They'll work with your insurance company. They have techs that have been there. I think the newest tech they hired was like 13, 14 years ago. Isn't that funny? Once they're hired, they don't leave, because it's a great company to work for, and that means the expertise is there to fix your car. Whether it's dents, hail damage, minor collision, or anything in between, Dents Express can get the car fixed. Walk-ins, welcome normally. Make an appointment, though. You can walk in and make an appointment, and then you get your free estimate, and they'll work with the insurance company, and you're off and running. DentsExpressSTL.com. Great St. Louis family, 30-plus years in the business. DentsExpressSTL.com.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550. KTRS.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as One Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. brand. From upgrading an aging roof to making essential repairs or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate online at johnbealroofing.com. That's johnbealroofing.com.
You can count on Cantor. I'm Mark Cantor. When I was 12 years old, I witnessed my father, a pediatric doctor at Cardinal Glennon Hospital, suffer a terrible accident when a large and defective battery exploded in his face. My father went into shock and had to undergo emergency surgery to save his life. While my dad recovered, he hired a lawyer who promised that no one else would be hurt by that company's product, and he filed a lawsuit to make sure no one did. I love my dad, and what he went through inspired me to become a lawyer and to start Cantor Injury Law. Like my father, I serve the St. Louis community, and I have done so for over 30 years. You can count on Cantor to treat you like family, to understand your case and your injury, and to fight for you. You can count on Cantor to help make things right. Visit cantorinjurylaw.com or find us on Facebook or call us at 314-628-9999. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision, should not be based solely upon advertisement, so call Cantor.
Despite what some of our politicians say, we all know inflation is on the rise. Hello, I'm Kathleen Cutis, and if you have ever considered a pre-planned funeral, now is the time to visit Cutis Funeral Home. Your specific prepaid funeral has a locked-in price that will never increase due to rising inflation. Take the worry off your family and have the peace of mind when making a pre-arrangement with Cutis. Cutis Funeral Home. Affordability with dignity since 1910.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
$7:38 here, Big 550, KTRS. I bring this up for no other reason than the hilarity of this story. We know that Bill Belichick, the coach of the Patriots, signed a 5-year deal to coach the University of North Carolina, $50 million, the first 3 years of which are guaranteed. And there was a report from 247 Sports that North Carolina, by the way, they started off the season, they're 2-3, and they've been outscored 120-33. Not a very good start for what is considered the best coach in the history of the game. The University of North Carolina, according to this report from 247 Sports, North Carolina has had discussions about a potential exit strategy for Bill Belichick after 5 games. They don't have any wins against a Power 4 program, and they've been outscored 120-33. The main problem is they're trying to figure out how to reduce the buyout of his contract. Now, that was the story the last day or two. Statements from North Carolina and Bill Belichick recently, just like overnight. Bill Belichick, I am fully committed to the University of North Carolina football and the program we're building. And North Carolina has said Coach Belichick has the full support of the Department of Athletics and the university. That from Bubba Cunningham, the director of athletics at North Carolina. You know what that means? Bill Belichick might not last the week. Whenever they say, whenever you get a vote of confidence from your boss, chances are he'll be fired by Monday.
And they still have to pay him for 3 years?
Well, there's a bit of a clause. He has $1 million buyout in that if he decides to leave, they got to pay him $1 million. So it sounds like, if you believe the reports, if you believe, who do you want to believe? The university and the coach who say they're fully committed to each other, or the reports that say they're trying to figure out a way to lessen the buyout? Maybe he stays because they don't want to pay him the $30 million they owe him. Maybe he doesn't want to go because they're not going to pay him the $30 million. But him and his 24-year-old
Well, I was going
girlfriend.
to say the most important question here is how does Jordan feel about this?
Well, she's on the sidelines. Apparently,
what does her say?
She's his defensive coordinator.
I know. An agent and manager. I mean, the important thing is, what is her opinion?
Holy mackerel.
Oh my God.
Is this the nuttiest story in the... Who was in the meeting? We need a coach. What do you think about Bill Belichick? Well, the guy's never coached college football. And he's 70-something years old. And college football is changing radically. All right, let's give him a shot. How much do you want to pay him? How about 5 years for $50 million? Great idea. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
What? How come when they're negotiating contracts with me, they're not that stupid? I want to negotiate with the University of North Carolina.
You're like, they weren't just like, if we could get Bill Belichick to be the coach, doesn't matter how old he is, doesn't matter anything. It's just because it's name, so we're going to pay as much money just to get him.
Why don't you get Vince Lombardi? He's been dead for 40 years. I mean...
Oh, it's his girlfriend.
I mean, I don't... it makes no sense to me. Who are these people who do these things? And does anybody... is there anybody in the background, leaning up against the wall thinking, this is a bad idea?
What if he's not?
Because I've been in those meetings before where I've been that guy, in the back, not saying anything, not having any power in these meetings.
Just watching.
Just sort of watching this stuff unfold, and I'm like, this is going to be a disaster. But absolutely, yeah, good idea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, good idea. Because you don't have any power. You even if you brought it up, they would shoot you down. So why even bring it up, right? Because I haven't gotten the other job offer yet, so I have to keep this job. And you're in this room, and you're like, oh, boy, this is going to be a disaster. And then it's a disaster. And then they're like, who would have predicted this? It's like,
everybody.
I don't know. I don't know who would have predicted. I have no idea who thought this was a bad idea. It's unbelievable. But anyway, Bill Belichick, apparently still going to coach at the University of North Carolina.
For this week.
And his 24-year-old girlfriend's going to be the defensive coordinator.
She needs a golden parachute.
Holy mackerel. That's I was watching Taylor Swift on Jimmy Fallon the other night.
Last night she was on Seth Meyers for the whole show.
Oh, really?
So she did Fallon on Monday and
okay.
Myers last night.
And then I saw Springsteen on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
I saw that on after the next day or two because Springsteen's got this movie coming out, which I think I'm going to dress up as my favorite Springsteen character and go watch this movie in the movie theater.
If the movie is about the album Nebraska, which came out in 1980, why is every single commercial playing Born in the USA, which came out in 1984?
Because apparently Nebraska was some
he did it by
transformative album that this guy recorded in a room
by himself.
Yeah, he was sort of disillusioned with fame and disillusioned with the music industry and sort of in this depressed sort of mindset. And he wrote this album. I don't know why he called it Nebraska. It didn't do very well.
No.
I don't think it was ever meant to do very well.
No big hits.
Right. And he sort of filmed it in this room. I think it was his grandmother's house or his house or the house he grew up in his basement or in his bedroom. And some guy just hit record and they recorded it and put it out there. And now all these years later, somebody wrote a book about this time in Springsteen's life and they decided to sort of make a movie about it. So it's... it's not like the making of Born to Run or anything.
But why are they?
To
my question,
you're trying to give them. You're trying to give people a hook as to.
Hey, this is going to be about the story about Born in the USA.
Yeah, I don't know, but that Jeremy Allen White though,
doesn't look like him.
Oh, I think he does. No, he doesn't look like him, but he kind of looks like him, and he kind of acts like him. I don't know. It was really. I'm really looking forward to seeing this movie. I love. If there's one type of movie I love musical docudramas.
Like Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody.
Rocket Man, A Complete Unknown, going all the way back to the Buddy Holly story. I love the Buddy Holly. I love La Bamba.
Great Balls of Fire.
All of those. What was
La Bamba's so good.
Right? I love all of those.
Not my Richie.
all of those. What do they call those things? Right? Those
Biopics.
are biopics. Yeah, but musical biopics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love them all. I don't think I've ever had a bad one.
The Rose is about Janis.
Oh,
about
ladies
Janis
and
Joplin.
gentlemen.
You know what was
The
a good one was Selena.
Oh, that was in my
Selena
opinion her
Lopez.
greatest. That was like her greatest and only. Like she
That
was
was
excellent in that movie.
Yeah,
That was a good movie.
that was a fantastic movie.
That whole story, like that, I wish that she was a little bit, and she knew Beyonce. Like there is a connection because
they're
they grew up
both
in
from
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
Beyonce was a fan of Selena, and they never made it. Clearly, it never. She had maybe a single, but she wasn't huge here in St. Louis.
no,
it
but
was
she was
Tejano.
huge in Mexico.
Right, and
Yeah.
so like I was alive
Ultimately
when she was
killed by her fan of her president of the fan club or
just
something.
some crazy,
but that movie was great.
really good.
Yeah. So I love all those things.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. I'll check in with Captain Paul Kopsky. Captain
And
Paul.
McGraw, a crash on eastbound 64 at 94 has been moved to the shoulder, but it's causing a stop and go back up to Winghaven. Northbound 55 is bumper to bumper at Union and Bayless, but it starts to open up at Weber. A medical emergency is partially blocking the ramp from southbound 55 to Bayless. It's also blocking the right lane there. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Right now, there's a slowdown westbound in that stretch of highway. Northbound 270 is jammed from 44 to Doherty Ferry, and the signals are on flash on Tesson Ferry at Music and Green Park. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Bill. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another crisp, cool morning and mild sunny afternoon for Thursday. We'll start off at 48 degrees, bit chilly to start, but a mild 73 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very dry air, real nice day for Thursday, very fall-like. And then Friday, chilly again in the morning, low 48, and then a touch warmer, a high of 76 degrees, a few more clouds in the sky, partly cloudy for Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, from the Country Club Car Wash text line, I would like a movie on Jimi Hendrix.
There is one.
Okay. I don't get Bruce Springsteen. Does that make me un-American? No, you are allowed to not like Bruce Springsteen. Rockumentaries. It's not a documentary. They're like docudramas, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things have been.
Biopics.
Yeah.
Yeah. McGraw is Cassandra from Greek legend. This may be the only time I can use the word McGraw and legend in the same sentence. Ooh. Love the show. Cassandra, I believe, was Cassandra. I don't know. I'm not very good at Greek mythology, but I think Cassandra was cursed with telling the truth, but no one believing her.
Oh.
I think.
You are
hopefully.
correct.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like that's.
I know.
I
Tell
mean,
me
that's
about
really
it.
terrible.
Apollo made her utter true prophecies, never to be believed.
Yeah. No.
Seriously, like that doesn't seem like. But honestly, if no one ever believed you, and you always you can't prove a negative, right? Like, how do you that's insane.
Trust me. I feel Cassandra's
that's
pain.
triggering. I know. I'm like,
I speak the truth, and no one believes me. I get ridiculed for it. I get mocked for it all the time.
Right,
I know.
right.
That hence the text of the day, by the way, from the 314. That's a text of the day. Country Club Car Wash. You get a free Country Club Car Wash for calling me a legend. And somebody who speaks the truth.
Oh.
And you can understand my pain of speaking the truth and no one ever believing me. 750 here, Big 550. KTRS. All right, moving right along. That's being pushed into the next segment, I believe. Brad Garrett joins us. ABC News crime and terrorism analyst. This out of nowhere, officials come out and say that they found the person who was responsible for the fire in the California, Los Angeles region. Brad Garrett, this story is unbelievable. How did they piece this together, and how did they find the guy?
So according to law enforcement, it was via witness statements, video surveillance, cell phone data, and the thing which they call analysis of fire dynamics. Now, I think that's a fancy term by ATF about that they were able, based on how he set the fire and where he set the fire, to link him back to him some way. But here's the short answer, I think, McGraw. If cell phone tracking puts him at the scene when the fire started, he's there for a period of time, apparently calls 911 from the scene. Again, pretty common behavior by these type of fire setters. Eventually gets through to 911 to report the fire, drives off. Fire trucks go past him. He's driving away, obviously. They don't know who he is, of course. He U-turns it and goes back to the fire and tries to tell the firemen that he wants to help put the fire out. Again, that's really common behavior with these type of fire setters. So you have that. He has said things online, I believe. There was a picture of a forest and houses burning that was on his website. It's a drawing, not actual pictures. I think he's got pictures on his cell phone before, during, and maybe even after the fire.
Okay, so we'll get to him in a second. The firefighters put the fire out, but unbeknownst to them, it's smoldering underground?
So it's not uncommon, McGraw, with these types of fires because there's so much super, super dry undergrowth brush, whatever term you want to call it, that they put the fire out. But some of the embers get embedded down into this, on top of the soil, but not maybe on the very top. So what happened is LA then had hurricane level winds that basically whipped up those embers that would normally have burned out, and you wouldn't have had the Palisades fire. You would have had just I think what's called the Lackland fire. That's the one he actually started. It's the embers from the Lackland fire that started, according to law enforcement, that started the Pacific Palisades fire. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the short answer as how you got.
Yeah. So this guy clearly the true definition of what a pyromaniac is, right? I'm assuming.
It would appear. I mean, as I told you earlier, the idea of starting the fire, calling 911, returning to the scene, taking photographs. These fires really become an obsession, a fascination. And I think there's also a lot of anger, rage, resentment. The two folks that rode in his Uber just prior to him starting this fire, now we're talking New Year's Eve of this year, said he was really super angry over something. So he had a tipping point, whatever that was. And also think about the power aspect of setting a fire like this. He burned up 23,000 acres. Almost 6,800 structures, obviously most of them houses, $1.5 billion. Well, that's a low estimate of the damage. I mean, it's unbelievable what one person did, maybe with one open flame.
They are blaming that he got either the idea or watched people light fires on social media. So what does that mean?
Well, that means he's into the fascination of fire starting. He's also apparently, again, according to law enforcement, listening to a French song that talks about setting a fire while he's setting the fire. This is a kid that appears to, we don't know much, is obsessed with fires and probably started in his childhood because that tends to be where this starts.
Mm. And again, time and time again, the criminal, the arsonist, goes back and watches the damage that they've created.
Right. I mean, yes, for the very reason of the fascination, the power part of it, and look what I just did sort of dynamic. I mean, the folks that do this kind of stuff, are going to have some of the characteristics of these shooters that we've talked about, probably isolated, angry, poor communicators, failed relationships, whatever it might be, are all probably going to be in some form or fashion in his background.
But there's also that sort of theory that these people ultimately want to get caught, and that's sort of their mental health issues, right? They sort of come back, right. They lead breadcrumbs so that ultimately they do want to be caught.
Well, maybe, or they're just arrogant, and they're not criminally sophisticated. McGraw, there's over 60,000 deliberately started fires in this country alone every year. A lot of them are not driven by people like this kid, apparently this kid. They're driven, by profit, by covering up a crime scene. In other words, they killed somebody, left them in the house, set it on fire. So there's all sorts of reasons that fires get started. But, in his case, how well did he even plan this? If he was just angry after that last Uber ride and said, I'm going to do something about whatever his anger was, and he goes to a place, this is also common, McGraw, that he was very familiar with. They know exactly on what trail and where he started this fire. And, that could be also through witnesses, etc. We don't know yet. But
how did he start the fire? Do we know? Was it as simple as a Bic lighter, or was it a cigarette, or do we have any idea?
The complaint, what we've seen of it at this point, just basically states that they think it could have been just an open flame, that it was so dry there. And that's the concern with these places, is that you could drop a lit match and that might be enough to start a fire. So we'll know more about that as time goes on.
Brad Garrett, ABC News Crime and Terrorism Analyst. Thanks for your insight, Brad. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Take care, McGraw.
758, Big 550, KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
And McGraw, crash on eastbound 64 at 94 is now blocking the right lane and causing a stop and go back up to Route N. Northbound 55 is bumper to bumper at Union and Bayless, but it starts to open. But a medical emergency is blocking the right, partially blocking the ramp from southbound 55 to Bayless. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Northbound 270 is heavy from 44 to Manchester, and the signals are on flash on Tesson Ferry at Music and Green Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather-wise, it's going to be nice. It's going to be 70s, mid-70s all weekend long through Saturday. Sunday, we might touch 80, but plenty of sunshine, no rain in the forecast. It's 61 degrees right now, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk appliance discounters. They have 6 area locations, and they're going to give you an extra 5% off any sale price. That's right. Appliance Discounters already has the best prices in town on all the name brands. Speed Queen, GE Profile, Cafe, Bosch, LG, Frigidaire. This 5% off applies on all the brands at all 6 locations. Next day delivery, installation, interest-free financing, locally owned and locally operated. The largest appliance retailer in the region. Appliance Discounters. 6 area locations in Afton, St. Charles, Baldwin, South County, and in Maplewood, and always online at theappliancediscounters.com. Great pricing, and now sale price, take an extra 5% off. Black Friday sale begins right now at theappliancediscounters.com.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Of war celebrations this morning in both Israel and Gaza as Hamas and Israel accept the terms of the peace deal's first phase. ABC's Mary Bruce is at the White House.
The families of the hostages welcoming the news. The White House sharing video overnight of some of them speaking with the president and Commerce Secretary.
What do you guys have to say to President Trump? Thank you.
They're all coming back on Monday.
In Israel, a similar scene of joy. The sister of one hostage popping champagne to celebrate her upcoming release.
ABC's Ian Pannell was in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv this morning.
As for Gaza, some celebrations, but this morning the bombing by Israel has not stopped, with plumes of smoke from artillery and tank fire as desperate Gazans hope to return to what's left of their home. And for the children of Gaza we've talked about so much, so many hungry and starving, their nightmare won't be over until the gates open and the aid comes in.
Israeli sources say the hostage release and prisoner exchange will happen 72 hours after Israel ratifies phase 1 of the deal, and that's expected to happen this morning. National Guard troops now deployed in the Chicago area, some of them guarding ICE facilities where protests have been happening for weeks.
After weeks of clashes, local officials in Chicago accuse ICE agents of using excessive force. Video showing agents shooting protesters with pepper balls, striking a Presbyterian minister in the head. President Trump is now threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act, a 19th century law allowing him to mobilize troops to aid domestic law enforcement.
ABC's Alex Perez in Chicago. 2 Pennsylvania state troopers are in critical condition after a shootout with a suspect at a sporting goods store. The police were responding to a theft. The suspect fled, was stopped by spike strips. You're listening to ABC News.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Nerves on Capitol Hill appear frayed, to say the least.
Tensions boiling over on Capitol Hill. Arizona senators showing up to the House Speaker's office, accusing him of delaying the swearing-in of Democratic Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, who could force a vote to release more files on Jeffrey Epstein. Johnson insisting this has nothing to do with Epstein. But just months ago, he swore in 2 Florida Republicans while lawmakers were out of town.
ABC's Rachel Scott on Capitol Hill. An arrest in connection with the Palisades fire in Southern California earlier this year that killed a dozen people and burned thousands of homes. ABC's Matt Gutman says 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht was picked up in Florida.
Authorities say Rinderknecht was in Pacific Palisades on New Year's Eve working as an Uber driver when he allegedly started this fire called the Lockman Fire just after midnight on January 1st. He allegedly called 911 to report it and then came back to watch the firefight. Rinderknecht arrested near his current home in Melbourne, Florida. Investigators say the evidence points to a suspect obsessed with fire.
The Princess of Wales has written an essay on the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood website. Her suggestion to parents, please put down the phone. She warns that technology had promised to connect all of us, but instead it's hurting family relationships. In Kate's words, look at the people you care about in the eye and be fully there, because that is where love begins. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law are proud to sponsor this Saturday's big game. Your undefeated Mizzou Tigers welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to Pearl Field in Columbia. Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9.
Yeah! 2 tacklers to the house in Missouri.
Don't miss all the action live here on the Big 550. KTRS has full coverage all week on the Big Sports Show with KTRS Sports Director Brendan Lisi and the Press Box with Frank Cusimano.
Missouri delivers a counter punch on the fake punt.
This is why the Big 550 is live, local, and the home for everything Mizzou. Proudly powered by Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law. Let's go Mizzou.
51 degrees at 8:05. Here's what's happening now. 1 person is dead and 4 others are in the hospital after a shooting during a balloon release in St. Louis. Authorities say the shooting happened around 7 last night in the 5900 block of Wells Avenue in the middle of a memorial event for another homicide victim. 1 victim was pronounced dead at the scene. 1 of the surviving victims remains in critical condition, while 3 others are stable. All 5 shooting victims ranged in age from 19 to their early 30s. Police are continuing to investigate and have not been able to identify any persons of interest. Police have apprehended the driver of a vehicle that fled the scene after hitting a pedestrian at West County Center yesterday. De Pere police were first called to the scene after receiving a report that the victim had been struck by a vehicle around 1 p.m. yesterday in the mall's parking lot. The 73-year-old man was transported to an area hospital with serious injuries. Authorities say the suspect's vehicle fled the scene and was later spotted by Franklin County Sheriff's deputies traveling on Interstate 44. Deputies initiated a pursuit and were able to stop the vehicle after deploying spike strips before taking the suspect into custody. St. Charles County first responders have a new tool to help save lives. The St. Charles County Ambulance District can now provide plasma and red blood cells on the scene or en route to the hospital for patients experiencing significant bleeding. A recent study found the death rate goes up 11% for each minute that passes between a serious injury and a blood transfusion. The Melville Fire Department has also implemented this program. How much are the St. Louis Blues worth, and how much does that compare with other teams? Answers from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
Sportico estimates fair market values for all 32 NHL teams based on team revenue and publicly available financial records. The Blues ranked 26th in net worth with a value of $1.5 billion. That's an increase of 18% from last year, but every team saw a similar increase. The league average value is $2.1 billion. That's more than double of what it was in 2022. The Blues start their season tonight at Enterprise Center, 7 p.m. face-off against the Minnesota Wild. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
And getting to tonight's game and other select Blues games this season will be a little easier for some St. Clair County residents. The St. Clair County Transit District is teaming up with Metro Transit to offer Blue Note Express service between downtown Belleville and the Civic Center Transit Center adjacent to the Enterprise Center. Buses will depart from a stop on West A Street between North Illinois and North 1st Street 60 to 90 minutes prior to the game, and return trips will run for 45 minutes after the game. Round-trip tickets will cost $10. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. 51 degrees. Time now is 8:07. I'm Rose Dalton. KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, do you remember the PSA with Dick Van Dyke telling people to search their sofa cushions for smoldering cigarette butts after a party to prevent forest fires? Ooh. I do remember Dick Van Dyke with the stop, drop, and roll.
Yes.
I do remember that. Now that they mention, I vaguely remember. There used to be a thing where you shouldn't smoke in bed because you'd fall asleep in bed and the cigarette butt would still be there. But the things you would do, with a cigarette. Larry King, remember Larry King? He would tell a story where he was so addicted to smoking, he would smoke in the shower. Yes.
How?
He had a sofa dish outside of the curtain, and he would put a ashtray there, and he would be showering, and he'd stick his head out of the shower and take a puff of the cigarette and put it back in the ashtray and continue showering. He would smoke while taking a shower.
Now, do you think that might be the first hint that you have a bit of an addiction?
Yeah, but he lived.
He lived.
He lived.
That means that you're smoking 24/7. I mean, if you literally can't not smoke for the however long it takes you to shower.
He had like a triple bypass and quit the next day. Seriously, he then quit. But he would talk
about 87.
He looked like he was 104.
With broad shoulders.
The smoking in bed thing is why mattresses are now treated with fire resistant. The plasma thing is a huge deal. The first person it saved in Texas was a doctor that had been leading the charge to make it happen. This needs to be in all ambulances in the metro area. Hey, McGraw, did you know that Tony Blair, ex-Prime Minister of England, was part of the negotiation process between Israel and Hamas? I know his name's been mentioned in some of those.
And he'll get the Nobel Prize.
Negotiations. A person who is obsessed with a fire is called a pyromaniac. What did I say?
Well, that's someone who starts fires.
Oh, okay. They found AI pictures depicting the Palisades fire on this guy's computer.
Yeah, he made some with AI.
While
it was burning, he made more pictures of it.
What a weird bird that guy is. Where has Greg Willard been? He was here yesterday. He was on with Frank
and Jill.
Yeah, we were talking to him. It was his 500th appearance on the Big 550 KTRS.
Whoa!
He marks them down. He writes little notes on each one of them.
They do a party for him or something?
No, we didn't even know. You walked
Bagels,
in.
sandwich,
He said it was 500.
What?
Yeah, it's been 10 plus years now. I remember when I first called him up, I said, "Hi, would you like to come on?" And I don't think he's ever turned us down. Could not be any nicer.
500 visits later.
The nicest man you'll ever meet, Greg Willard. He's also a great TV lawyer too, or radio lawyer. He's fantastic. The Cassandra post was a joke. Love the show, Don. No, it wasn't. That was.
Spot on.
I went to Ronnie's movie theater last week and watched David Gilmour do a concert in Rome. It was really cool, having popcorn and watching it. All right.
But that's not a biopic. That's a
we did
concert.
that when I saw The Cure, like at the Tivoli or something. It's kind of an interesting way to see a concert. Like you don't really have to be. Yeah, I mean it's everything. Just you don't have to like be there. You don't have to deal with the people, or you get it.
From the Country Club Car Wash, Rose cracks me up. I think I just heard her comment on Larry King's broad shoulders. Ha 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 ha.
Thanks. I hope somebody got that.
I once read that smoking tobacco is more addictive than heroin. If this is true, wow. That was C. Everett Koop, the Surgeon General, back when America believed that vaccines saved people's lives. C. Everett Koop was a big anti-smoking Surgeon General in the Reagan administration, I believe, and he was the one who said that quitting smoking was harder than quitting heroin, I believe, or something. He somehow
more
made
addictive.
More addictive, yeah, more addictive than heroin, which is pretty interesting. Let's see here. Who was the guy who had a triple bypass and quit smoking the next day? Larry King.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, Larry King was the guy. Yeah. Smoking in the shower isn't your first red flag that you have a smoking addiction.
Like there's an ashtray in the shower.
I picture him like with a long cigarette holder, just having the holder.
It's sort of like Zsa Zsa Gabor,
Yes.
but no, he told that story on the radio back in the whenever, and I was like, he smoked in the shower, and then he told the story that he would stick his head out and he would puff on the cigarette and then put the cigarette in the ashtray. And then continue showering. Can you imagine?
No. So those cigarette holders, like, did women just use those? Like,
Yes.
right? Was that just like a dainty thing for women?
It's so their fingers
get
wouldn't
their-
smell.
or
get
the
yellow
lipstick
or something. Yeah.
all over the.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like you don't see those anymore. Like, it'd just be funny if someone was they're so old school.
You just
but
don't see
they're
any.
long.
You just don't see anybody smoking anymore.
Yeah.
It's such a rarity.
And when you do, it's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rare to see somebody smoking. I mean, it's just sort of right. I mean, remember a couple of years ago, people were complaining, I can't believe we're going to ban smoking in bars and restaurants. Somehow the sun came up the next morning.
I know.
Somehow we were able to survive that.
What's what you say? People are still smoking. Like, who's still smoking at this point?
There's 15% of the population still smokes.
You realize you've just insulted 15%
Well, I
of
didn't
our
mean to
audience.
insult. I just meant kind of like, isn't one pack of cigarettes now? Like, I remember when they were
It's got to be
maybe
$10.
$3 or so. I'm just going the price alone.
I think we have the second lowest in the country.
It's the second lowest cigarette tax. But I think a pack of smokes has got to be over $10.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just the cost alone is
Yeah.
enough to like, let's stop that. But
814 here, Big 550 KTRS. Imagine $10 for a pack of smokes.
no.
Well, I mean, you're not doing it because you enjoy it. You're doing it because you're addicted to it.
Yeah.
All right, 814 here, Big 550 KTRS. We'll do this. We'll check traffic and weather, and we'll check in with Antonio French, Frank Cusimano. Phone calls and text messages next hour. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. A crash on eastbound 64 at 94 is blocking the right lane and causing a slowdown back to Route N. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount, and northbound 270 is heavy from 44 to 64. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free debt removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
from the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk. Local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another crisp, cool morning and mild sunny afternoon for Thursday. We'll start off at 48 degrees, bit chilly to start, but a mild 73 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very dry air, real nice day for Thursday, very fall-like. And then Friday, chilly again in the morning, low 48, and then a touch warmer, a high of 76 degrees, a few more clouds in the sky, partly cloudy for Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, the calendar has now turned to October and December, early December. We're going to get the dates from Cardinal Glennon here pretty soon about Light Up Glennon. It is a wonderful, wonderful night. There's going to be usually 2 nights. Heidi hosts one and I host the other. Usually they're on Monday nights. And what we do is we invite the community out to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital on Grand Avenue there. And we sing Christmas carols for about a good half hour to the kids who are otherwise stuck in the hospital. We get some hot chocolate. We get some Santa Claus. We get the choir to sort of lead us. The fire trucks are out there with all of their horns and sirens and lights, and it's a big spectacle. And we want it filled with people singing Christmas carols because it's a chance for the community to just sort of remember the kids in an otherwise dreary holiday season where they're stuck in the hospital. We've been doing this now so long, and we've survived through the pandemic, that now kids who we sung to in the early years have now gotten better and grown up and now leading their own lives. They come back and support Light Up Glennon because they remember how much fun it was to break up the monotony of the hospital stay, which is really a testament to how great this event really is. KTRS has been there from the very beginning and will be there as long as they want us to be there because it is a wonderful, wonderful event. Would you like to find out more? Glennon.org, and we'll tell you more about it. But plan, it's not a lot of your time, but it sure will change the holiday season for kids and parents and families who otherwise have a really stressful holiday season. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital or Glennon.org. We'll tell you more about it. Glennon.org.
Whether you're on your way to see the Tigers or coming back home from the game, be sure to plan a side trip to Overstock Outlet, the best random store around where new inventory from the major big box stores arrives daily. You never know what great deals you'll find, and it's right on your way. 2 locations, in Lake St. Louis at Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and in Warrenton at Highway 47 and Highway M. Open every day from 10 until 5. Find them on Facebook at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis, or check out their weekly online auctions at overstockoutletauctions.com. Let's go Tigers!
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
I'm Jill Farmer for TB Exteriors, your choice for professional roofing, gutter, siding, and windows in the St. Louis metro area. They'll help you with your roofing insurance claims for residential or commercial roofs. They're CertainTeed Select Shingle Masters and offer the highest level warranties. Right now, mention KTRS and get $500 off a full roof replacement. Call TB Exteriors at 636-362-9503 or visit tbexteriorsmo.com to schedule a free estimate.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call at 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Every January, the gyms are full and the resolutions are big, but by February, most people have already given up. That's why Premier U helps people flip the script. Don't wait for January. Fall is the perfect time to start a weight loss journey. Premier U's personalized programs use today's most effective weight loss medications paired with expert support. Why wait to start fresh? Call Premier U today or visit premierumed.com to get started. Your future self will thank you.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Call the Closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Frank Cusimano joins us in about 15 minutes to talk about the Blues and their kickoff to the season tonight against the Minnesota Wild at the Enterprise Center. Right now, though, Antonio French, St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist. Good morning, Antonio.
Hey, good morning.
Sounded like a good idea when President Trump signed it into law that we were going to force people who were on Medicaid to have some type of work requirement. However, implementation is where the rubber meets the road. And to implement that in the state of Missouri, article in STLtoday.com, it looks like it's going to cost the state some almost $70 million to set up a program to stop people from not working and receiving Medicaid?
You know, it always sounds like a good idea when it comes out the president's mouth. He thinks he's come up with a very simple idea. But you know, implementation is where the rubber meets the road, as you say. Like these programs are not cheap, and anytime there is a governmental change and a new requirement, there's really a new level of bureaucracy created. You know, so a president who says he's trying to get rid of bureaucracy actually is helping to create more bureaucracy, and it's going to be more expensive for the state. And at the end of the day, it means less money for people who actually need it in this program.
So they're saying it's going to cost $70 million, and here's how the numbers break down, which people are probably listening to us saying, what are you talking about? So there's about 1.3 million people in the state of Missouri who are covered by Medicaid. About 500,000 of them are children or disabled, so they don't need to work for the requirements. The other 10% are already not working for all sorts of reasons. And so that means the only people that are going to be forced to look for work are 50 to 60,000 recipients. So you have to set up a program so that 50 or 60,000 people don't steal any cookies out of the cookie jar, which, again, it seems like a whole lot of money to stop a couple of people from sort of putting their hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, it's a solution looking for a problem. You know, I don't think this has been a big problem, especially to the tune of, millions and millions of dollars. But, Republicans right now are foaming at the mouth at the idea of any poor person getting money more than they should get. They're spending money on cookies instead of medicines. They're just very concerned with poor people misappropriating public money. Meanwhile, obviously, large companies, even governmental agencies are just blowing money by the billions. So I think the priorities are messed up here. I don't think, the idea is that we want to help those folks who need it the most, especially the children, disabled people who need it the most. And so in any government program, no government program runs at 100% efficiency. So there is going to be some dollars or pennies that go to the wrong sources, or unintended sources, or what have you. But is it a small percentage or a large percentage? And I think on this program especially, it's the tiniest of percentages that might be argued that went to an unintended source. But as you're seeing right now, it's not worth the millions and millions of dollars to try to track down and stop that little bit of misallocation.
Yeah, you're gonna spend $70 million to save I don't know how much. And this is the thing that sort of cracks me up is we're so busy throwing tomatoes at each other. From the most liberal to the most conservative, I think everyone can agree that nobody thinks that somebody who doesn't need it shouldn't get it. Right? I mean, everyone agrees, no matter where you are on the political spectrum, you shouldn't raid the cookie jar. You shouldn't be getting it if you don't deserve it. And if you're breaking the rules or doing something nefarious or being lazy, nobody should get it. But how do you go about implementing that? And it's sort of each one's yelling at each other. So now you have a situation where you're spending $70 million because you want to save $5 million in people getting funds they shouldn't be getting. It kind of doesn't make any sense.
Right, and you're making it, you're increasing the bureaucracy and making it more difficult, adding extra layers of paperwork, et cetera, to the 95% of people who are doing exactly what they're supposed to do in the exact way that we intend them to do it, just to try to crack down on the 5% or more. So it doesn't make much sense. But again, it's one of these things that sounds like a good idea when it's said, but when you actually get down to doing it, you see, okay, that's why this situation exists right now, because it's just not worth the effort to try to track down these pennies.
Well, you also have to think, now each state has to set up their own thing. So this is each state's going to be, have to set up their own computer program to chase down the 50 or 60,000 recipients. Oklahoma's got to do it. Arkansas's got to do it. Nebraska's got to do it. I mean, it seems like an awful lot of waste of money if one state does it. It seems like a ridiculous waste of money if all 50 have to do it.
That's a great point. And if it's cost $70 million in the state of Missouri with the size of its population, I mean, how much must it cost in Texas or California or larger states? And if you add all that up together, multiply that by 50, I think that then becomes a bigger problem than the small problem you were trying to solve.
Yeah. One question about the gambling machines we were talking about on Thursday. I had a nice conversation with Melissa Price Smith, the prosecutor in the county yesterday. And, she was saying, look, if somebody brings me a case, I will prosecute it. And you talk to the mayors, and they're like, well, we can't do anything about it. You talk to the police, they say, well, we're hands are tied. You talk to the prosecutors, our hands are tied. It seems like I don't know where to go to find the right person to ask the question, who is going to do something about these now federally illegal, after this court case, these now illegal gambling machines. How do we get them out of our neighborhood after this court case? Nobody seems to have the answer of who you talk to about this.
Yeah, I think it's still pretty early. This has not really been something that prosecutors have been doing. And I think one of the reasons you see these things so frequently everywhere is because there hasn't really been any prosecutions. And so I think what happens is if there are a couple of high-profile prosecutions in key counties, I think a lot of these stores, convenience stores, bars, et cetera, are going to start taking these things out because they don't really want the hassle or the problem. But it's been a free-for-all for the last 10 years, and so I understand why folks have just said, okay, we'll see what happens. So, and now we're seeing what happens. So maybe they're going to self-regulate.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Kind of like the immigrants who self-deport. Antonio French, STLtoday.com, and of course with us every Tuesday and Thursday. Have a good week. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, 8:30 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
And McGraw, it looks like they've cleared a crash on eastbound 64 at 94, and the residual slowdown back to Route N is thinning out. There's road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. Northbound 270 is heavy from Big Bend to Manchester, and the Martin Luther King Bridge is closing now for inspection work, and it will reopen at 3:30. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Oh, what do we got going on here? We've got weather-wise, temperatures in the mid-70s today with plenty of sunshine. 52 degrees right now at 8:30. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to pause in their devastating 2-year war and release of the remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. The proposed ceasefire is expected to be approved by Israel's cabinet and parliament Thursday. Under its terms, Hamas will release all 20 living hostages in the coming days in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, while the Israeli military will begin a withdrawal from the majority of Gaza. Uncertainty remains about some of the thornier aspects of U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed plan to pause fighting, such as whether and how Hamas will disarm and who will govern Gaza. Pope Leo XIV is calling on bishops worldwide to champion social justice and protect the most vulnerable. In his first official document released earlier today, the Pope urged the faithful to turn care for the poor into action and challenge inequality and exploitative economic systems. In local headlines, authorities are investigating a crash involving a police vehicle that left a teenage girl seriously injured. Police say a Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SWAT vehicle collided with another driver on Highway 67 near Farmington Wednesday evening. Officials said a 13-year-old girl in the other vehicle needed to be airlifted to the hospital. No other injuries were reported. The NAACP, St. Louis, and the American Red Cross are partnering for the first time through the Red Cross Sickle Cell Initiative Joined by Blood. The partnership is designed to raise awareness that black blood donors may be uniquely able to help patients with sickle cell disease. The event will be held at the NAACP St. Louis's break room at 4811 Delmar from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. a week from Saturday. Anyone who donates will receive a $20 Amazon gift card via email. 53 degrees. Time now is 8:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, let's talk interest rates. And Stuart at Stewart's American Mortgage. Look, you have a lot of options out there when it comes to refinancing your house. All of the options out there that I know of will charge you fees, $6,000, $7,000, $5,000 in fees to refinance to get a lower rate. So you save $100 a month. That's a lot of months you got to go through to save, right, to make up for the $5,000 in fees. At Stewart's, he's the only one I know of that doesn't charge any fees, anything over $200,000. So lower your monthly rate, save yourself $100. You're saving yourself $100 day one. So 6 months from now, the rates go down again. Great. Refinance again. Oh, but you only got 25 years left because you paid 5 years on your rate now. Stewart, right, can give you a 25-year mortgage. So same amount of years, and again, you're saving yourself $100 a month. Why wouldn't you do it? That's why Stewart's so successful, and that's why he's the busiest and the biggest in town. He has the rates. He has no fees, whether you're purchasing a home or refinancing a home. Talk to him. The refinancing boom is on. People are calling him and refinancing. Why? Why not? You save yourself $100 a month in your mortgage, and it won't cost you anything. Ooh, that's a no-brainer, right? 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440 or stewartsamc.com.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Whether you're on your way to see the Tigers or coming back home from the game, be sure to plan a side trip to Overstock Outlet, the best random store around where new inventory from the major big box stores arrives daily. You never know what great deals you'll find, and it's right on your way. 2 locations, in Lake St. Louis at Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and in Warrenton at Highway 47 and Highway M. Open every day from 10 until 5. Find them on Facebook at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis, or check out their weekly online auctions at overstockoutletauctions.com. Let's go Tigers!
St. Louis Union Station is adding to the family fun with 3 new rides in the outdoor wheel park. The Flying Louie is a swashbuckling pirate-themed ride that swings to 42.5 feet. The Locomotion is a train-themed roller coaster in the wheel park, and the Wave Swinger is a classic swing ride modeled after the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Plan your next visit to St. Louis Union Station to enjoy the new attractions with your family. For more info and tickets, go to stlouisunionstation.com.
Mizzou football on the Big 550. KTRS is powered by Royal Banks of Missouri.
Touchdown, Missouri!
Catch all the action right here on the Big 550. KTRS.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's now time for the Press Box with Frank Cusimano on the McGraw-Millhaven Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Walter Knoll Florist. We know flowers.
All right.
He's running.
Frank Cusimano sprinting.
Never run
to the microphone, breaking the first rule of broadcasting in the Jack Buck Book of Broadcasting.
Never run to a mic.
Never run to a mic. You'll be out of breath. There you go. Do you want us to let you catch your breath, or are you ready to roll?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, good. How's the drive in? How's traffic out there?
Very beautiful.
All right. You're running around, excluding tonight, first Blues game. What do we know? What do we expect?
Well, I don't think I've ever been this high on a season. You have to go back to after they won the Stanley Cup, heading into that year. So it's been about 4 or 5 years. And I tell you, McGraw, this is where the Cardinals need to be like locked and loaded with all this young talent that's like 26 and younger. And, I wish we could just fast forward the year,
right,
and then be here next year, because a lot of these guys like Mayu and Snuggerud are going to be a little bit further along in their careers. But in terms of health of the organization, Doug Armstrong has really got this thing figured out. He really does.
They didn't tank, but they missed the playoffs the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, but what they made wise trades. I mean, look, when we look back on Doug Armstrong's life, we're going to say the signing of the two from Edmonton, the offer sheets, Broberg and Holloway, is probably the best thing he's ever done. Now, you could say, wait a minute, they got Ryan O'Reilly, they won a cup. But this is like 10 years of guys that are going to be unbelievable. They're 22, 23 years old. And they just put the franchise in a whole different place because of that move.
So you don't think this is hype? You think this is a real nucleus that can sort of sustain them for the next couple of years?
Yeah, like I don't think they're going to win the Stanley Cup this year, but I'd be surprised if they're not right in it, for the next 3 or 4 years.
Who's their goal scorer? I asked you this before. I'll ask you again. Who's going to be their go-to goal scorer?
Well, first of all, you got to remember this. After the Four Nations face-off, Robert Thomas had the most points in the National Hockey League. I mean, that's pretty serious business. And, he had 81 points in 70 games. If he plays 82 games, it's not preposterous to think he could make a run at 100. And the last Blues player to get 100 points was Brendan Shanahan. So this guy's going to be – I remember when he was 19 years old, and I asked Doug Armstrong in the organization, who's the one guy you'd bank your career on? And he said, this kid named Robert Thomas. And he's right.
Yeah, all right. Now, he's retiring, right? Or he's stepping aside? Or
Well, this is not a Mozeliak exodus. John's gone for good, and we won't see him again. But
a little harsh.
Doug is going to remain the president of hockey operations as Alexander Steen moves into that GM role. And so Doug's going to have his hand in everything. He's a type A, and he's not going to go away.
The thing about the Blues, and I'm not the big, I don't know a lot about hockey, but I do know that Tom Stillman, you see him sitting in with the fans during the game. You see him in the concourse shaking fans' hands as they come in, welcoming them. Then this is a well-run organization that is committed to St. Louis.
He's great, and they say that it's the worst place to sit at a Blues game is right next to Tom Stillman because he's elbowing after every play and knocking people down. He's really into it, and he's going to be our guest today, by the way.
And not to badmouth the DeWitts, because I think that, but they're just not, they're a little more shy. They're a little more reserved, if you will, than sort of Tom Stillman, who is reserved but makes it the point to sort of sit amongst the fans and have a beer and talk to them.
That's a good comparison because, let's face it, too, though. Bill Jr. is, 86 years old.
Yeah.
And Bill III, he went to MICDS, so those guys don't get too fired up.
All right, fair enough. Yankees blew it, huh? What's all that money down the tubes?
Yeah, I heard Aaron Boone after the game, they asked him, do you expect to be back? And he said yes, so we'll see what happens there.
Blue Jays run a bullpen game for Game 4 of the playoffs. They didn't have a starter. They used all relief pitchers.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, when you think back to the Cardinals, even like their number 5 starter, Jason Marquis, would go 6 or 7 innings.
Yeah.
Or Jeff Suppan would go 8 or 9 innings. And now you throw in those bullpen starts. It's the way things are.
Somebody brought this up to me. It wasn't me, but it's a brilliant point. They brought up Chris Carpenter's Game 5 against the Phillies in whatever that was, 2006
I was there.
Or something. He went 9 innings, didn't give up any runs, went through the lineup 3 or 4 times. I don't think there's a pitcher in the major leagues that will do that today, no less on a team.
Yeah, maybe a Skubal, but you're right. Nobody.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the 2 greatest games I ever saw in my life, I was 6 years old in '68 when Bob Gibson struck out 17 in Game 1 of the World Series, and then I was covering the game in 2011 when he outdueled Roy Halladay.
Yeah.
It was one of the greatest pitch games I've ever seen.
Schumacher hits the double, and the Cardinals end up winning 1-0.
Yes, and then the final out was Ryan Howard tapping the ball to the pitcher and blowing his Achilles. And he not only blew his Achilles, but it blew up that franchise. We didn't hear from the Phillies for years after that.
Yeah, but I mean, now you pay a guy $300 million and you won't let him go through the lineup 3 times.
Yeah,
it's crazy stuff. What do you think in Alabama, a Mizzou Saturday?
Well, I was thinking about this morning. If they win, it's going to be one of the 3 or 4 biggest wins in my lifetime. They beat that Kansas game was big because they got them number 1. They beat Oklahoma when they were number 1, and they beat Georgia in 2013. But this is the game where you thought, okay, there's 2 significant games before the season when you look at the schedule. Boy, if they beat South Carolina, they'd be 4-0. If they beat Alabama, they'd be 6-0. I mean, here's the breakdown of the game is what Mizzou does really well, Alabama does horribly, is that Mizzou runs the ball better than anybody. They have the lead rusher in the country, and Alabama has been gnashed all season long. Florida State Game 1, Georgia, Vanderbilt, everybody runs in Alabama. Okay, now what Mizzou does really poorly is defend the pass, and that's what Alabama does unbelievably well. This Ty Simpson He had to sit McGraw for 3 years to watch future NFL quarterbacks. I mean, just basically sat on the sidelines. He gets his chance. It's 13 touchdowns. It's 1 pick. And, this guy's unbelievable. So,
11 o'clock here on the Big 550 KTRS. Last question for you, Frank Cusimano. Bill Belichick in North Carolina, off to a rough start, right? And so there's rumblings like they're going to ask him to leave or not leave or whatever else. But they're saying that there's an NCAA investigation for extra benefits. Now, they're paying these guys millions of dollars. And the extra benefit is they gave a couple of passes to a couple of family members for the family members to hang out on the sideline. I mean, is that ridiculous?
That sounds like North Carolina actually reported that to the NCAA. So when they fire him, they don't have to give him, they have for cause instead of giving him $50 million on the way out.
That's a brilliant point. All right, Tom Stillman, who else on the show today?
The Il Balago restaurant, which is one of our favorite Italian restaurants in Creve Coeur of Olive Street Road.
By the way, Epic Pizza you had on last week. Did you get any pizza? Because there was a run on it in the in the kitchen. I didn't know they did East Coast pizza in the Valley too. I've been going there for years. So good stuff. All right, Frank Cusimano, get back to work. There you go. Now go run to the next studio. There you go. 846 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, there's road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. The Martin Luther King Bridge is closed for inspection work and will reopen at 3:30 this afternoon. And one lane of 64 is closed eastbound between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 o'clock this afternoon for road work. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org, federally insured by NCUA, membership eligibility required. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another crisp, cool morning and mild sunny afternoon for Thursday. We'll start off at 48 degrees, bit chilly to start, but a mild 73 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very dry air, real nice day for Thursday, very fall-like. And then Friday, chilly again in the morning, low of 48, and then a touch warmer, a high of 76 degrees, a few more clouds in the sky, partly cloudy for Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Are you looking for a lamp? I got one for you. Miller Furniture, Mueller, Miller Furniture. I walked in, I was like, that's expensive. They said it's half off. I said, sold. I'll take it. They're having their half price sale going on at Miller Furniture. It's a Stickley, dare I say. It's a Stickley. It's an inlay. Harvey Ellis inlay, Miller Furniture, Stickley. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When they bury me, they're going to bury me in with that Stickley lamp. It is gorgeous. Look, you want American-made quality, you want Miller Furniture. They got 4 area locations. The one in Fairview Heights, they have the Stickley sort of section. They also have, it's got to be the largest mattress selection in town. You buy a mattress, and they will throw in the adjustable base. Yeah, pretty sweet deal. Miller Furniture's got their half-price sale going on right now at all 4 locations. Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows, Fairview Heights, that's where I got the lamp, Ellisville on Manchester Road, and in Belleville. Here's what you do. Same as cash financing with the half-price sale at Miller Furniture. They'll deliver it. They'll do everything they can. They'll set up the adjustable base. They'll take away the old mattress. Miller Furniture. Mueller. MillerFurniture.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and Friday night's Midnight Madness with Fall Festival and Halloween themes, including a track or treat event. Be sure to wear your best costume.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
With over 30 years of experience in top quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
8:52 here, Big 550 KTRS. Lots of great charities out there. KTRS has been a big supporter of many of them, including one of our favorites, the Ronald McDonald House Charities. And to talk about it is the new president and CEO, R.J. Crunk. R.J., welcome back, Big 550 KTRS.
Thanks for having me back.
Ronald McDonald House, when you find out what they do, the light goes off and says, oh, my goodness, it's brilliant, because a lot of people don't realize how valuable the Ronald McDonald House is until they need it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and just so everybody knows, we're a home away from home for families with seriously ill children. And so when they come upon that situation where they need to come to St. Louis because we have phenomenal health care here, they have to find a place to stay. And in many cases, that turns out to be the Ronald McDonald House here in St. Louis.
Yeah, they have other children. They have to live their lives. They have to take care of the other kids. Meanwhile, they're going and visiting the other sick child in the hospital. And so you can't stay in a hotel for 3-4 months at a time. Right. And so this is a sort of place for them to sort of remain a family unit while they're dealing with the most stressful time of their lives, really.
Yep. And the research tells us that, a sick child is a sick family. And the research also shows us that if the family can be involved in the journey with the sick child, their outcomes are way improved, way just better. And so for us, the value that we give is that we keep the family together during that healthcare journey.
How many Ronald McDonald houses are now here in St. Louis?
We have 2 houses and we have 4 family rooms. The family rooms are actually in the hospital themselves.
Oh.
So we expanded. As you know, last year we came on board and built the new Grove House, which expanded us from 49 rooms to 92 rooms. So we've almost doubled in capacity. And we're seeing that in the number of families served, too. So we serve 546 families in the 2 houses. This year, we'll be approaching 1,000 families served this year.
So you have the house on Mercy's campus right there on Ballas.
Yeah, that's a 20-room facility.
And then the new one is right off of 40 in the Grove, which is world-class, state-of-the-art. You guys spared no expense and got it done.
Yeah, that's a 72-room facility. We added a lot of amenities that we kind of learned that families need when they come to St. Louis. Some of the things like we hired a chef, Chef Matt, we call him all the time, with his kitchen. We serve meals six days a week. And then we also have grab-and-go meal items for the families throughout the week. So a lot of families leave early in the morning, come back late at night, so they miss meals. So he's got an entire system set up for that.
What's the average stay for a family? How long?
Yeah, the average stay is about 30 days. For us.
Yeah.
And that includes, we have 5 rooms we call them short stay rooms for families that come back for appointments, treatments, check-ins. If you take our short stay rooms out, that jumps up to almost 4 months.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
All that comes at a cost. All that comes at a price.
Yep, sure.
So you guys got a fall campaign going on.
We do. It's our Home Away from Home campaign this fall, and we're trying to raise about $600,000 to help close out the year to make sure that going into next year and the end of this year that we can continue to provide this service for the families.
Yeah. And so what do we need to do? What do we need to find out?
So you can go onto our website, rmhcstl.org, and there's a donate button there. It also kind of illustrates all the things that we do here in St. Louis. In addition to just providing a home away from home, we have all the amenities that we talked about for the families, including transportation and food service. And those dollars stay here, right here in St. Louis, to help those families. And makes a big difference for the folks that we serve.
The Ronald McDonald House is not technically connected to McDonald's, but there's a very tight bond. Every time I go to McDonald's, they ask me to round up for the Ronald McDonald House. Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, so roundup for us is for before I start with that, McDonald's is, we call them our first and forever partner. They do so many things for us. And they're a part of the money that we raise every year, and the Roundup's a big piece of that. All the money that comes through, I get this question asked all the time. If you go to Roundup and you round up, does that money stay here in St. Louis? It certainly does, and it goes right and to help us fund the things that we do for the families that we serve. This Saturday is a big Saturday for us. It's the McHappy Day Saturday. So if you go through and buy a Happy Day meal for your kid, 50 cents of that meal comes back to us in St. Louis, too. So they do some extra promotional stuff like that, too. So they're a phenomenal partner. We have lots of volunteers with them, and they help us all around the house all the time.
I know some other franchisees here in town, and they are always quick to help and never say no, and are always help out in any way, shape, or form. So it's a great partnership. Yes, Rose, you have a question.
Do you guys still collect pull tabs?
We certainly do.
Because my mom, we used to just gallons, like milk gallons. I still keep them, so I should still keep.
You should still keep those.
Okay,
we still collect those. We actually have a big event in the spring called Tab Top Pandemonium.
Nice.
Where people bring them down to the house. So it's a community engagement for us, but also people to get to come down and see the house. And and we turn those right around and recycle those, and that money comes back and then funds our house again.
Beautiful. All right. So what do we need to know? What's the website to find out more?
rmhcstl.org. There's a donate button on there. You can also hit the about button and learn about all the families that we serve and all the things we do for the families.
And then when you go to McDonald's, Roundup, all that money stays here?
Stays right here in St. Louis and helps the families that we serve.
And then find out more because you guys got, it's angels on earth helping out those families who come to town who are really at their wits' end.
Yeah.
And just to have a place to sort of collapse and help the other kids, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, we feel very blessed to provide the services that we do and help the families that walk through our doors every day. And the St. Louis community is a big part of allowing us to do that.
Great stuff, RJ. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
All right, 8:58 here, Big 550 KTRS. Phone calls, text messages, all next hour. First, Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. There's a crash on eastbound 70 past the Blanchette Bridge, but it's not causing a slowdown. We have road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. And the Martin Luther King Bridge is closed for inspection work and will reopen at 3:30 this afternoon. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
Netanyahu convening his cabinet and preparing a vote this morning on phase 1 of the peace agreement between his country and Hamas. Shosh Baronian is a Netanyahu spokesman.
This is a national and a moral victory for the state of Israel.
As for when the hostages could be released, President Trump told Fox News last night,
"We think they'll all be coming back on Monday."
And then, says ABC's Karen Travers at the White House,
the next big question, of course, is what happens in phase 2. And there are a lot of big questions about what is still to be negotiated, including, of course, the governance of Gaza and the disarmament of Hamas fighters. Those are very big questions and a lot of details that still need to be worked out.
For now, however, there is optimism in both Israel and Gaza. The National Guard now on the ground in suburban Chicago, even though there's a court hearing on the deployment this afternoon. ABC's Alex Perez is there with more.
500 Texas and Illinois-based National Guardsmen called up, some stationed at the Broadview, Illinois ICE Processing Center to provide additional security. This afternoon, a federal judge will hear argument on whether to block their deployment after warning the administration Tuesday, saying, "If I was the government, I would strongly consider taking a pause on this."
This is day 9 of the federal government shutdown. Democrats and Republicans stuck at a stalemate. Democrats insisting on a permanent continuation of subsidies to help millions pay their health care premiums. Republicans saying they won't talk about anything until the government is reopened.
So caught in the middle of all of this, about 4 million federal workers. The White House has threatened to fire thousands. The president has said some won't get back pay. I asked him directly how he would make that decision. He would not specify, only blaming Democrats.
President Trump holding a cabinet meeting at the White House in about an hour. 2 Pennsylvania state troopers are in critical condition after being shot by a gunman in Chambersburg who died when they returned fire. This is ABC News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
220.
A Connecticut woman is back in court today on attempted murder charges. Prosecutors say Kristen Hogan allegedly put antifreeze in her husband's wine. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The man told investigators he believed that a motive for him being poisoned is the fact that Hogan would become the full owner of the residence and would gain full-time custody of their child. On Hogan's cell phone, police said they discovered searches for potassium cyanide and monoethylene glycol. Police said there was also a search for how much monoethylene glycol would kill you.
California has taken a big step toward getting foods that doctors have been warning about for years out of the mouths of kids.
A first-in-the-nation effort to help get school children healthy. On Wednesday, California Governor Gavin Newsom signing a bill that will phase out certain ultra-processed food from school meals. Experts say the legislation includes the first science-backed legal definition of ultra-processed foods, and the law requires any food under this new definition to be banned from schools starting in 2035.
ABC's Andrea Fuji. The CDC says ultra-processed foods can lead to heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. According to a new poll by the health advocacy group KFF, the public's trust in the Centers for Disease Control is now at its lowest level since the start of the pandemic. Compared to the CDC, far more people say they trust the American Medical Association and American Academy of Pediatrics when it comes to reliable information on vaccines. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law are proud to sponsor this Saturday's big game. Your undefeated Mizzou Tigers welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to Pearl Field in Columbia.
Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9.
Two tacklers to the house in Missouri.
Don't miss all the action live here on the Big 550. KTRS has full coverage all week on the Big Sports Show with KTRS Sports Director Brendan Lisi and the Press Box with Frank Cusimano.
Missouri delivers a counter punch on the fake punt.
This is why the Big 550 is live, local, and the home for everything Mizzou. Proudly powered by Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law.
Let's go Mizzou.
57 degrees at 9:05. A St. Anne woman has been charged in Tuesday's officer-involved shooting near the interchange of Interstate 70 and Earth City Expressway. St. Louis County Police have charged 35-year-old Janie Ryan with 6 counts of fourth-degree assault and 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon. St. Louis County Police were first called to the area around 12:30 Tuesday morning for reports of a suicidal person armed with a handgun. Ryan is being held on a $250,000 cash-only bond. St. Louis police are investigating a series of package thefts in the Central West End by 2 women posing as Amazon delivery drivers. The most recent incident occurred around 5 a.m. Sunday at a condo near Laclede and Sarah. One of the 2 women dropped off her partner in a nearby alley where surveillance footage spotted her entering one of the condos wearing a delivery vest similar to those worn by Amazon package delivery workers, a face mask, and glasses. Police recommend taking several steps to reduce thefts, including signing up for delivery alerts and tracking your packages online, using a package locker, having a trusted individual pick up packages, or having packages delivered to work when you're not home, and installing security cameras as a deterrent. A recent study shows adolescents in Illinois are drinking alcohol at nearly twice the national average. The Illinois Youth Survey that's conducted every 2 years shows that in 2024, 8th graders were using more alcohol and teens more cannabis. What's perhaps more alarming is the data showed that 1 in 10 8th graders said they got alcohol through an app or delivery service. The Illinois Department of Human Services advises parents to pay close attention to their teens' social media and overall phone use. The first rhinos are arriving at St. Louis Zoo Wild Care Park. Details from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
The St. Louis Zoo is announcing that its Wild Care Park in North County has just received its first rhino herd. The 5 southern white rhinoceroses weigh between 4,000 and 5,300 pounds and range in age from 5 to 27 years old. There is 1 male and 4 females. The move of these 5 marks the first time in decades that the St. Louis Zoo will care for white rhinos. The rhinos will spend most of their time at the park's 63-acre woodland safari. They will also have access to a state-of-the-art 12,000-square-foot rhino barn. When the park opens to the public in 2027, the zoo will offer guided safari tours through this habitat with no barrier. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. A popular St. Louis-based convenience store and gas station is opening its largest location to date outside of Kansas City. The Independence City Council voted Tuesday night to approve construction of the 54,000-square-foot location at the interchange of 70 and Nolan Road that will feature 84 gas pumps, 12 electric vehicle charging stations. It will be the 4th location, Wally's, joining stores in Fenton, Pontiac, Illinois, as well as other locations under construction northwest of Indianapolis. And now let's take a look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is down 132 points to 46,700. The S&P is down 12 points to 6,800. And the NASDAQ is down 45 points to 23,100. In KTRS Sports, the Blues open a new season tonight at home with the Minnesota Wild in town. Forward Oscar Sundqvist will be out of the lineup tonight and is expected to miss at least the first 3 games with a lower body injury. And the first injury report had no surprises from 14th-ranked Mizzou, with left tackle Caden Green listed as questionable with a right foot injury ahead of Saturday's game against 8th-ranked Alabama. Mizzou football has the third longest active winning streak dating back to last season at 8 games. Only Ohio State at 9 and Memphis at 10 have longer winning streaks than the Tigers. You can catch all of the action on Saturday with your pregame coverage starting at 9 and kickoff at 11 on your home of the Tigers, the Big 550 KTRS. Let's go to KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads where you find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose, there's road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. The Martin Luther King Bridge is closed for inspection work and will reopen at 3:30 this afternoon. And eastbound 64 bogs down at 170. This traffic report is brought to you by Lion's Choice. Say howdy to the new Southwest Cheddar Melt. Your choice of roast beef, ham, or turkey with melted cheddar cheese, crispy jalapenos and onions, and zesty Southwest sauce. Available now. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, sunny today with a high near 73. Clear skies tonight, low around 48. Partly cloudy tomorrow with increasing cloudiness and high near 76. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night, low around 56. It's 57 degrees. Time now is 9:10. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Carney, Buck.
Woo. Always enjoy a good story on the Thursday broadcast. We'll get several. One of them from the former death investigator of the state of New York.
Woo. Going to be a great interview. Can't wait to hear that. Also, we'll catch you up on Mizzou sports with our sports director, Brendan Weesey.
Did you say woo?
Woo.
You okay? Barry Mendelson joins us as well. We get the latest on Spaghetti Wars. See you at noon.
Woo. John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
It's the half price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Hey, the number 2 crew reporting for duty.
Number 2 crew. Let's get in that yard and clean up that doggy do.
The number 2 crew will visit your yard once a week in the St. Louis area, and they'll take care of your dog's business. Think of them as your yard's best friend.
We are the number 2 crew. We do poo, you do you.
Customers can sign up through their website and utilize their customer portal for any sort of changes or updates. The number2crew.com or 314-717-8880.
We pick up what your dog left behind.
The number2crew.com.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant has been a staple in St. Charles for 35 years. Our comfortable, casual atmosphere offers some of the best comfort food you've ever had. Customers might know our delicious breakfast, but you can have whatever you want, anytime you want, with our full menu 24 hours a day. Nothing warms your heart like Gingham's famous vegetable soup, and we can cater your event, too. If you like homestyle food and great friendly service, you'll love Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben with Timberline Professional Tree Care. You've heard me for years warning of the devastating effects of emerald ash borer. Well, the time has finally come that this pest has damaged or killed almost every untreated ash tree in the region. For some trees, it might be too late. But if you only have minor damage to your tree, please call Timberline Professional Tree Care as quickly as possible and get on our treatment schedule. Further, if you've been using a box store remedy or if another local provider has been treating your ash tree, give us a call. We bet we can save you a lot of money on your treatment program. Timberline has 7 ISA certified arborists and 5 licensed applicators to diagnose, treat, and save your trees from this and other harmful pests. To save your trees, just like we've saved thousands of other trees in the area, visit our new website at stltreecare.com or call 636-479-7475 anytime.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage, onion, bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
Hi, this is Stuart Rosenblum, president of Stewart's American Mortgage.
Stewie!
Mortgages are the biggest investment that a person's going to make in their life, yet most people don't know anything about it. Tune in for Mortgages and More with Stewie. That's me, where we can go over all the different types of mortgage programs in simple terms. You, me,
Stewie!
You'll become an expert after the first show.
Listen to Mortgages and More with Stewie, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on KTRS.
The Big 550.
KTRS. St. Louis. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
$9:16 here, Big 550, KTRS. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, we already gave away the Country Club Car Wash text of the day.
Because they said you were a genius.
A caller said that I was Cassandra from Greek mythology, which I correctly remembered. Cassandra was the woman, the Greek legend who was cursed with speaking the truth and no one believing her, which I took that as a compliment. So we gave that person the text of the day. But this one, from the 314, do they need volunteers at the Ronald McDonald House? Yes, always. RJ walked out and said that they've got all sorts of volunteers. Yes, give them a call over there at the Ronald McDonald House. They're happy to take your good cheer and put it to good use. All right, phone numbers are as follows: 314-931-5877, 314-931-5877, or text your comments to 84126. You know what we find? A lot of people love to attack me on the text line. They love to tell me how wrong I am on the text line. And oftentimes, it's hard to have a discussion with somebody with 142 characters. So I often recommend them calling the show in the 9 o'clock hour so we could have a discussion so the whole town can hear your brilliant rant about how wrong I am. But so few ever take me up on that offer. It's very bizarre. They'll be happy to tell me how wrong I am and call me every name in the book on the text line. But when it comes to having like a civil conversation, they don't want to have a civil conversation. They just want to verbally throw up on you and then go about their day. Doesn't make any sense. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. What else we got going on? Blues kick off tonight. By the way, if you ever go to a Blues game, the man behind the music is our very own Carl the intern. You've been doing this how long?
This is my 30th season.
Your 30th year?
Yeah. I started in 1996.
In the old Checker Dome?
No, it was still...
Oh, it was the Enterprise Center.
Kiel Center at the time.
It was Kiel Center at the time. And so when you're... No,
that's the organist. That's Jeremy Boyer.
Okay, that's the organist.
I'm playing the songs you know.
Okay, so you're playing the period breaks, or
commercial breaks.
Commercial breaks
between puck stoppages.
What about like the kiss cam? Who does that?
I do.
You do the kiss cam music? Okay.
All that.
All right.
Now, unless there's a video that accompanies the music, 9 times out of 10, there's music attached to that video.
Do you have your choice of which music to play, or do they tell you which music to play?
It depends on the situation, but I know the game pretty well, so I can.
So you
feel out,
you know what to play and how to play it and
but
whatever
I also
else.
beat myself up afterwards. I'm like, I should have played Led Zeppelin rather than Styx.
How about this? You're going to answer this question for me. Power play time, where they do the two arms going up and down.
Power play dance.
Yeah, the power play dance.
The song is Twilight Zone by 2 Unlimited.
Okay. Where did that thing come from?
That is disputed, but the best story is that a special needs child when he heard that song, he said, we're going to get a power play. So he did that dance. And the version of the story I like to choose is that the rest of the section was supporting the kid.
All right, well, that's good enough for me. I like that. Okay, so I'll stop making fun of that. That is a great. That's a great story.
Other teams come in and go, what are they doing?
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. I like that story. Do you play any music with the Towel Man?
No, Jeremy Boyer, the organist, he dings a bell.
Okay. And that's totally set. That guy does it on his own, right?
He buys his own tickets.
Buys his own tickets.
Not
his own
sponsored by the team at all.
His own T-shirts, his own deal. Has he ever missed a game in the 30 years you've been there?
Yes, he has. He's missed about 10 or so.
All right.
And so have I. I've only missed 8 games.
8 games.
Usually for weddings. Once my appendix burst, but
that's really no excuse.
I know, that's what I said.
All right, there you go. There he is, the sound man. 30 years running tonight. So when you go to the game tonight, Carl's playing the music.
And when we score, I blow the goal horn.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought that was the guy behind the goal.
No, that's the NHL officials, and they're not behind the goal anymore.
I knew that, yeah. So you blow the horn when they score the goal.
Yes.
So you really got to be watching.
I'm paying attention.
Now, apparently, in broadcasting circles, it is the goal of the announcer to yell goal before the horn.
Yes.
That is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Kerber, if he's doing it right, should yell goal.
And then you hear the horn.
And then you hear the lamp.
But he's also like saying there's a shot. So he's halfway there already.
Sure. No, I understand it.
Technically.
Have you ever blown the horn when there wasn't a goal?
Let's not talk about that. Technically, I'm not supposed to blow the goal horn until the ref points that it is a good goal.
Okay.
Technically. But
it's not as easy as it sounds. This job.
It is a very stressful job. Every time someone says, "Oh, I could do that," then they get up there and watch and like, "Oh, I'd never want to do that."
Have you ever like somebody text you and you check your phone and you miss the goal?
I get texts that say you were late on that one.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Tom, who's listening right now, loves it. He goes to the games, and his brother Chuck, and they're like, "You're a little late on that."
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, do you ever do out of town games? Do you ever go to out of town games to see what other teams do?
I have been to Chicago, Nashville, Winnipeg.
Okay.
I've been to minor league hockey games. First of all, it's a great place to get other ideas. I'm like, I'd never thought of it that way.
Yeah, all right. Good to know.
Yes, I do like to go to other. I've been to New York. Madison Square Garden's a great place to see a game.
Yeah, my dad used to take me to go see Madison Square, to see the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. And then, of course, I was in Long Island with the Islander run, went to a couple of those games, but I mean, hockey's nice. It's not like I hate it. I just wasn't really exposed to it the way. I've been to a couple. I like going to games. It's fun, but I just didn't grow up with it.
I'm wearing my ring today, too.
That's a doorknob. It's not a ring. Charlie, line 1. Good morning, Charlie. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning, and thank you. That was a nice little interview there with that guy. Appreciate that.
Carl, 30 years. He's the DJ at the hockey games. Yeah, absolutely.
It is. Okay, my call here is about the Torch Electronics trial and some figures.
Okay.
And some of this now at the trial, the prosecution was allowed to use the amount of money from 101 machines. This is from the Post-Dispatch, by the way, from their reporter.
Yeah.
101 machines in a 6-year period through 2023. Okay. And I'm just telling you that because that's the base.
100. These numbers are from 100 machines for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
$32 million.
It's those $32 million. Those 100 machines have collected over the last 6 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
$5.5 million would go to the owners, Torch Electronics, and $5.5 million out of that would go to the venues where these machines are operating, and the rest goes to the winners. And that comes down to $52,700 per machine per week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here comes some astounding numbers. They are currently operating 6,000 machines.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
If you extend the numbers on that, that comes to $316,200,000 a year, of which Torch got $63 million, and the venues where these things are sitting got $63 million. And I knew it was going to be pretty high, and I know these are fairly accurate because the basis for it is what of the 101 machines that were allowed to be used as proof at trial.
Right.
I know that I've called you on this a lot, and you've been on this a lot, and it's just astounding. They could pay off everybody, and that's how come.
Well, they kind of are, Charlie. They are paying off everybody.
Just not the players.
Yeah, everybody gets paid. The only people who aren't getting paid off are the people who are putting money into the slot machine.
It's just, I called you earlier in the year, a place that I frequent like once a month to go in for something. I watched it go over 3 years from 3 machines to 5 machines. I walked in there in June, and good Lord, now they had 11.
Yeah. Well, look, extrapolating the numbers is a tough game because I get what you're saying, but I don't know if those, and we'll go with your math, but the numbers, no matter what they are staggering. And the numbers that aren't being taxed are staggering. And you have to assume that these people gambling at these machines at the bars aren't going to the casinos where it's a 90% payout and being taxed. They would rather go to the bar, pay a 60% payout, and not be taxed. So explain to me as a society how these things are beneficial to us.
Yeah.
Right? Because originally it was we agreed to the sin because they were going to be regulated and taxed. There were also going to be a loss limit. They were also going to go on the rivers. We went from $500 loss limits on the rivers to showing up at daycare centers and having slot machines there. I don't know. Talk about camel's nose under the tent. The slippery slope argument. This thing, we have fallen off the rails. And here's the thing, Charlie. When I talked to Melissa Price Smith yesterday, you talk to mayors, they look at you like, I don't know who to. I don't know. You talk to governor's candidates, oh yeah, no, it's a deal. You talk to police officers, oh yeah, it's a real deal. You talk to prosecutors, oh yeah, as soon as somebody brings it to us, we'll prosecute it. Everyone from the highest to the lowest is, oh yeah, we got to do something. But who do you call to complain about it? Who can do something about it?
Ghostbusters.
They're all on the take. All of them are on the take because they're taking in so much money.
Wait a minute, you missed that one. I'm just trying to be funny. Who do you call?
I heard you, Charlie. Charlie, I thank you for the phone call, as always.
You're welcome.
You got it. Fred, line 2. Good morning, Fred. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning, McGraw.
Good morning, Fred.
I just kind of had a question, and I really don't know the answer to it. If the House Majority Leader could be sued for not giving that woman who I think was in Arizona that won her seat.
Yeah.
Because he's denying those people who voted for her their right to put their 2 cents in.
Yeah.
I would think they could sue him and make him pay them for every day that she's not in there.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. If you get an answer for that, I'd sure appreciate it.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is nobody cares.
They don't seem to.
No,
even the people that voted her in don't seem to care, because I would be checking into it if it was on my watch, and I'd be trying to find out, can we sue him?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a law that says you can't. I mean, that law would probably stand. All the rest of them don't.
Fred, I don't think anybody cares about anything, to be honest with you. And I'm sort of half joking, half sarcastic here, but I mean, nobody really cares about anything. I mean, what we used to care about, but in some ways we're so offended by everything. Now it's like there's so many things to be offended by. We don't have time to be offended by everything. So I mean, these gambling machines, right? And now nobody cares. You've got troops in Chicago. Nobody cares. You've got I don't know. You go to get a COVID shot, and now your insurance won't cover it. I mean, everybody and everything is. It seems like nobody cares. So I mean, nobody cares. Somebody wins an election and they're not sworn in, and that's the deciding vote on the Epstein files to be released. And apparently, we used to care. Now we don't care anymore. You know, it's a strange world we're living in, Fred.
It is.
I hear you. Thanks for the phone call.
Day.
Have a good day, Fred. All right, I got a break. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Got a text just a moment ago. Somebody said it was a KTRS day yesterday. Let me see if I can find it here. It says, yesterday was a KTRS day. Went to Ryan Raphael at 1:30, 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery for a late lunch. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. They took my advice. Now you know what I know. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery is great barbecue. Smash Burger tacos, I'm telling you, the only reason not to have a Smash Burger taco is because you don't have enough room in your stomach to have the ribs and the Smash Burger taco. That's my dilemma at 3 Bay. That's a constant dilemma. If I get the Smash Burger tacos, I won't have room for the ribs. But if I get the ribs, I won't have room for the Smash Burger tacos. This is my dilemma, because it's so good. Everything at 3 Bay is good. Now, look, it's not fancy, so don't kid yourself. If you show up with barely a shirt and flip-flops, they'll let you in. Might be a little chilly today, but Woods Mill and Clayton Road, right there by Lamp and Lantern, is a gas station. The gas station's called West County Phillips 66 gas station. It's nondescript. It's very plain Jane. It's fine. It's wonderful. You get your gas. Nice convenience store. Nice soda fountain. But in the back of that place, they've got a barbecue joint called 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery, and that is some of the best barbecue in town. You see women from the Red Hat Society there. I always see somebody of the cloth. Somebody from the clergy is always there, whether it's a couple nuns. I always see nuns there. I see a couple priests show up from time to time, maybe a deacon or two. A minister might show up. You see construction guys showing up. You see landscaping guys. A couple of talk show hosts along the way pop in. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Dine in, carry out, catering's always available. It's not fancy. It's just really good. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery or 3baybarbecueandbakery.com. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene is siding with the Democrats now. What in the world's going on in this world? St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, there's road work on 5570 with lane closures and slowdowns in both directions between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. And the Martin Luther King Bridge is closed for inspection work and will reopen at 3:30 this afternoon. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You want to put a charge into somebody? Call Baldy Electric. That's what I'm talking about. Baldy Electric, 314-968-9999 or baldyelectric.com. What's great about Baldy is that they are a family-run electrician. Everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. Michael Baldy has a team of electricians all ready to go, all ready to help you out. So you call them up, you say, look, I need some extra power for the animatronic skeleton I need for Halloween. I'm planning on putting a cemetery in my front yard and on my roof. I need more power. Baldy Electric will help you out. Hey, maybe you just bought a new electrical vehicle. You need a level 1, level 2 charger? Baldy Electric. Whatever you need. Whatever you need. You're rewiring the basement, the new kitchen, or maybe even just a different outlet because it sparks. When we grew up, every once in a while you'd come across an outlet and had a little burn mark on it. I think it's time to call Michael Baldy. 314-968-9999. Michael Baldy or baldyelectric.com.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica health plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
Jewels on Hampton pay some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, gemstones, coins, collectibles, and sports memorabilia. JewelsOnHampton.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
9:38 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's go to Jim on line one. Jim, good morning. Welcome to KTRS Radio.
Good morning. I agree 100% with the concerns of either the last caller or just a previous caller about the representative from Arizona not being confirmed into the Tanker place
and
in the
sworn
House
in,
of Representatives.
Yeah.
It's very much concerning because we have the Constitution and it exists and was created by better men that went through much more difficulty in their time, and so the Constitution, the Constitution, it's much more than a piece of paper that is supposed to be our belief system. It's kind of like what makes us American. It is unbelievable to me that we have a man that duly elected, of course, made some promises he can't keep, but he's got all these issues and problems with this Constitution. Obviously, he does not believe in it. The way he's conducting international affairs, murder on the high seas, using the military against our own people, taxation without representation in the form of these tariffs. This man has a problem with our country and our Constitution. And this Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to sit there, he is our belief system and our rights are given to us by our Creator. And a man like Mike Johnson who will stand in the way of that, one man will stay in the way of our representation. Not, sure, it's Arizona's representative. It may not affect us, but it is an affront to all of us. They could simply do that to anybody, any state.
Jim?
It is just disgusting and vile. It's concerning.
Jim, thanks for the phone call. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see here. Wondering if Carl still keeps in touch with JC. I used to listen every morning and always had a laugh. Now I'm listening again to to an old person show. Laugh out loud. Bob the Woodworker. I talk to JC once in a while.
You talked to him before I did.
Yeah, I talk to JC from time to time. He texts in, calls in. He was on the show.
For the Brian McKenna event.
For the Brian McKenna deal, yeah.
Yeah, I talk to him at least once a month.
Yeah. Let's see here. Marjorie Taylor Greene, her 2 kids aged out of health care. Their own premiums are going way up. If something doesn't make sense, follow the money. Let's see here. I'd like to suggest Carl play Phil Collins' song on one of the highlights of the games.
We play Phil Collins at the beginning of every third period. We play In the Air Tonight. And all the lights go out, and everyone pulls their phones out, and it looks very cool on the video.
All right, good to know. I gained 15 pounds listening to the Three Bay Barbecue commercial, and I am still hungry. Go figure. Dave. Just listen to your statement about nobody cares, and remember this. That one, where did that, just remember this. And then I can't.
I don't see the second one.
I don't see the second one. Maybe they're still working on it.
Maybe no one cares.
McGraw, you're absolutely 100% right on the casinos, and the gambling is totally out of control. I don't normally agree with you on many things, but you have nailed it square on the head. Listen to this. This out of the Springfield News Leader. This is new news. I found this on the break coming out of the Springfield News Leader today. Springfield has in the past passed an ordinance effectively banning video slot machines in early 2024. And Torch Electronics sued, saying, hey, well, Torch Electronics wanted a business license, and Springfield said, no, you can't get a business license because we have an ordinance that effectively bans video gaming machines in our town, and so we're not going to give you a business license. Well, today in the Springfield News Leader, and I'm reading here, in the first judicial ruling involving Springfield's ban on video lottery machines, the city has come out victorious. A judge in Cole County sided with the city in a lawsuit brought by Torch Electronics, claiming that it was unlawful for the city to deny the machine operator a business license. So, apparently, the judge ruled that, Torch sued over this ordinance and went to the courts, and the judge found that the city had lawfully and constitutionally passed the ordinance, that does not conflict with state law, and is lawful to withhold a business license from Torch because it violated the city ordinance, and that ordinance was based on a state law that didn't conflict with it. So the judge wrote, the city introduced sufficient evidence to carry its burden to demonstrate that Torch's continuing business would violate city code. Torch's licensed applications, in conjunction with their own website, confirm that Torch is in the business of maintaining, operating, and leasing coin-based entertainment devices that confer a monetary reward. These two admissions by Torch alone provide such substantial and competent evidence as required by state law. Torch immediately filed an appeal for the decision. So there you go. So Springfield passed an ordinance and said no. Torch sued, and a judge said, you're crazy. It's a gambling machine. And so apparently Torch is not in Springfield because the Springfield City Council did their job. So tip of the cap to Springfield. Let's go to Mike on line one. Mike, good morning. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to, I don't know if you covered it, but if what your take is on this Sanchez thing going on in Indiana where he attacked that truck driver.
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit. It's an awful convoluted story.
Yeah. Social media's got it all over the place. They keep showing the pictures, obviously, of the guy that stabbed. He's in intensive care. And then they got videos of Sanchez walking away with it holding his side. But, now they're saying, he was taking pills. Obviously, he was intoxicated. But, more will be revealed, I guess. But, he's probably going to have to get the best attorneys he can find. I don't know if he lost his job as announcer yet. They haven't made any announcements about that.
Well, he's still in the hospital, isn't he?
Sanchez? No.
Oh, he's out of the hospital. So what I read is that I've read two different stories. One, the elderly man was delivering food, but then I also heard he was a truck driver. So I'm confused by that.
I think it was a grease reclaiming truck, like for restaurants. That's what I kind of heard, but
okay.
I don't know. But anyway, it's like, he was parked in his spot and he got angry, and then words were going around, and next thing you know, physical thing broke out with,
Yeah, it sounds like Sanchez attacked him. This guy pulled out a knife to defend himself. Sanchez punched the old guy. The old guy stabbed Sanchez. Sanchez got a hurt on the old guy. I've seen the pictures of the old guy. He's pretty beat up. Sanchez, was stabbed, had to at least spend some time in the hospital. This is one of the more bizarre stories you've ever heard.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the guy that's got stabbed is suing the, is he with Fox? Is that who he's with?
I believe he's with Fox, and he didn't do the game on Sunday. But I think Fox and everybody else, the police, are still trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Well, they got it all on those cameras. They just haven't released all that stuff because they're
still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well,
crazy stuff. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. 947 here at Big 550 KTRS. Walter Knoll Flores. Yeah, that one is. Clearly alcohol was involved. Who knows if drugs were involved? But clearly, Mark Sanchez was obviously under the influence. And it was at night. Nothing good happens at night under the influence. So we'll wait and see how it all turns out. Walter Knoll Florist, you want to send some flowers to somebody? You want to send a nice little bouquet? It's coming up on that season where centerpieces always take center stage. And my sisters love to send centerpieces. My one sister, Linda, she goes to WKF.com, and she sends everybody in the family a nice little centerpiece. So whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, right, at the dinner, we can't be with everybody, but it's nice to have a little centerpiece that says, I can't be there with you in person, but I send a little love. And she always uses Walter Knoll Florist. She lives in Arizona, but she uses Walter Knoll Florist. Why? Well, she likes to keep it in the family, support the local. But she knows that she'll get great flowers when she uses Walter Knoll. WKF.com. 1-800-341-ROSE. 1-800-341-ROSE. That's the phone number. The website, WKF.com. Walk into any one of their locations. They'll take care of you. Centerpieces, flowers, funerals, weddings. They have a whole wedding department. How about a nice little gift package for the college kid who is a little homesick right about now? Yeah, Walter Knoll will take care of that as well. 1-800-341-ROSE or WKF.com. Let Walter Knoll be your family florist.
Branch out and get to know the St. Louis County Library System September 2nd through October 31st. The library is encouraging people to visit new library locations during the Branch Out Challenge. Pick up a passport or register online to get started. All 20 St. Louis County Library branches are offering fun activities and giveaways. Complete the challenge and take home an I Love My Library window cling and a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Learn more at slcl.org/branch-out.
Let's talk about legacy. Yingling, 196 years of brewing. Family owned for 6 generations. That's elite. That's first ballot Hall of Fame status. But even the legends evolve. So meet the next generation of light beer. Flight, just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. This isn't some watered no flavor regret in a can beer. Flight is crisp, clean, and actually tastes like beer. It's time to level up, St. Louis. Flight from Yingling. TG Yingling & Sons, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
A message from the master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newsetter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Navigating to and through retirement doesn't have to be complex. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means. Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, the Talk of St. Louis.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, Piccadilly at Manhattan. This is the time of year. I love this time of year. And this is a great time to go to the Piccadilly. They've got a great outdoor patio. The weather's turns nice. The leaves are going to start to turn a nice, crisp autumn color, right? That nice gold, the nice brown, the nice yellows. You sit outside in the patio. You have a nice little pot pie, maybe a little bouffe bourguignon over there at Piccadilly at Manhattan. It's not fancy. It's just a great place to go. Great. Never had a bad meal. Never, ever, ever had never had a meal that was like, never. Been going there for 20 years. It's the oldest restaurant in St. Louis, Piccadilly at Manhattan. And you will never accidentally run across it. You've got to specifically go there because it's sort of a hidden gem. It's amazing how good it's done all these years, and you have to go there. It's in the Ellendale neighborhood. Get to McCausland, go south, cross over Manchester, cross over Arsenal. You want to make a right on Manhattan or Piccadilly, and it's right there in a little residential part of town. Great patio in the back, in the front, in the side. Great food, great atmosphere. Bring a friend, call up a friend, reconnect with an old college buddy or a whole high school friend. Piccadilly at Manhattan. We'll see you there, piccadilly.com. All right, 9:54 here, Big 550 KTRS. Does that mean 3 minutes? Is that what you mean?
It does.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Text line has gone crazy. I'd like to give a shout out to the St. Charles License Bureau on Zumbel. In and out 5 minutes. I've been to that License Bureau on Zumbel. That is a good one. Hey, McGraw, wondering why the Missouri-based casinos don't demand the same status with the games. I agree. I don't know. It's like the Gaming Commission and the casinos have been neutered in some way, shape, or form. 3 and 4. I guess that caller will go down as undecided on Trump. So you finally have a caller that calls in and wants to talk about things that matter, and it's not video game systems, but you quickly change the subject back to video games because the Show Me Institute doesn't want you talking about the fact that our democracy is falling apart. I let the guy talk. He was finished. What did you want me to say? He said his piece. What did you want me to say? Hey, McGraw, what's the name of the company that interviews grandparents? Thanks. I enjoy the show. It is called... Sound Story. Thank you. Sound Story. Carl is so right when they play In the Air tonight in the third period. He also should have said there was a large amount of air drums happening at that moment.
At one point, yes.
Is that the...
It's the...
Okay.
And it times out perfectly.
All right. Vote for Jesse Jackson Jr. Illinois needs him. Gambling machines are made down in Springfield. I've bought a few. When is Carney going to have JC on his show?
Not today.
While I want to agree with my fellow irate citizens to what is happening in our country right now, Jim, this guy is a puppet to the folks that have written the Project 2025. Another one, Jim is dead on. Would be a good question for Greg Willard. I hope someone reaches out to Liz Cheney. Just way too many for me to get to.
And we already had our text of the day. Which said you were a genius. Legend.
No, technically. Well, I don't know. Whatever. All right, we're done. Thanks for putting up with me. As always, we're transitioning to Frank Cusimano, Jill Farmer. We're back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for calling. Thanks for the texts. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Join us for Thursday's program. It is going to be special. The Blues open their season. We'll visit with the owner, Tom Stillman. It's our weekly special, Il Balago, one of the great Italian restaurants in St. Louis. And Charlie Brennan will be here, one of the great talk show hosts of all time.
Simano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
I'm Bob Hardcastle. Listen to my Money Talk radio program every Sunday morning from 8 to